And welcome back to episode 420 of the Unpaid and Underrated Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Big Keith, joined as always by my good buddy here, Big Hogan. Howdy, howdy,
Hey
Hogan.
there, how's it going?
Good, buddy. Hogan's filling in for Big Joey. Big Joey came down with the flu this week, and he is very much under the weather. He wanted to be here. He does send his regards. He hopefully back up and running next week, and we'll be back to our regular advertising for you guys. This week, special guest, Big Antony.
How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Hello.
welcome. Good to see you again. I feel like Crew Falls just a couple weeks ago, but I think it's been a couple months, honestly.
Yes, it is.
So let's go ahead and kick it off, boys. Anybody got a special can this week they want to talk about? Anything special?
Let's see. I got some Kroger blackberry citrus. It's a fan favorite in this house.
Nice. Kroger. I think there's been some Kroger talk on here before, but it's not a, I guess it's definitely a regional grocery store. I'm rocking the second week in a row. I've got, the crew submitted Rambler. This one is a grapefruit this week, so I'm going to give it a little swig, see what she tastes like. Oh, that's good. That's very grapefruity. Usually not a grapefruit guy, but it's like, it tastes like a grapefruit without like the bitterness of it. So I guess you would take like the good parts of the grapefruit without that like just asinine, like bitter taste. And it's just the flavor aspect. So Ramblers, 2 for 2 so far. 2 weeks in a row. Big fan.
What flavor did you have last week,
Not
Keith?
having flat water.
Lime, I think. Lime, maybe, no, it was a lemonade lime. Because it was like it was a lemon lime, something or other, which was pretty good too. So I enjoyed that.
This week, I am rocking the Sprite Zero Lemon
Nice.
Lime. Not a Rambler, though, but a classic, enjoyable beverage for sure.
Nice. I don't think I've had the zero. The zeros are always like, they're diet adjacent, I guess. Like they're still like, is it like more stevia than like, or like what is it that makes it, because everyone has a zero versus their diet. I don't really know.
Yeah, I kind of think. I'm honestly not sure. I kind of think it's more of
Same.
like a marketing thing. People say that they taste different.
Okay.
I don't think they have like a diet Sprite. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but
Maybe there's not.
I've
always thought there
heard
was.
zero's supposed to be more the flavor. Diet's supposed to be like an offshoot of whatever it is. But zero's supposed
Gotcha.
to try to be the same thing. Because like Diet Coke tastes nothing like Coke.
Yeah, true.
correct.
Okay. Well, anybody wearing anything? What are you wearing tonight, Hogan? I think I know what it is from the color, but maybe tell the listeners what you're rocking.
The red, we got some the unpaid underrated shirt, a classic, the brightest shirt in my wardrobe.
It was a good one. I'm a fan.
That one definitely pops.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure Anthony gets one at some point. I am got the Cool Beans shirt on. It was there in the closet and it fits, and that's what we're rocking with this week. Keeping it simple.
I am rocking the 8-bit powerlifter,
What's a
the
good one?
crew neck version. No,
Ooh.
not the shirt. It's a crew neck.
Oh wow, I didn't remember that. That was
Yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna be like 4 or 5 years old, probably.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. And then underneath of that, I got the blue Massonomics gym tee. So
Nice. How do you like the? That's the newer fit or an older? Oh no, that's the older. Or that's the traditional muscle cut, isn't it? Okay.
Yep, the more athletic fit.
Yeah, I've still yet to venture into the. I think I'll try one on at the Arnold and make my game time decision. If I'm probably gonna like love them and like be annoyed that I've like missed out on the last like 4 drops because I was like, change, no, can't have change, can't have a different shirt. So hopefully I am proven wrong and that they are awesome. This week, what do we got going on? So some news. We got the big, as everyone probably well. By the time we're recording it, it might not be news to everybody. By the time you're listening, you would have already heard the sisters talk about it and probably see some Instagram. But it's the drink spotter contest. Massonomics crew have been vying for a new contest for a while now. I think it's been since Jefferson Deadlift a year and a half ago, possibly give or take. Since we've had a crew submitted contest or a contest for the crew to submit content for. So we got that going. The grand prize. I think they got a couple of those red. XL drink spotters in Massonomics Blaze Red, which technically Blaze Red is confusing because people will think that's orange, which it's not. It actually is red, unlike their beanies that are not red. So I'll butcher or Big Hogan, you want to tell the people what they have to do to submit for this contest?
Oh yeah, because the last time that I was in charge of doing a description for a challenge, it was very, very effective. Let me go.
I think we still have people in our DMs going, "This wasn't in the rules."
Oh my gosh. All right, I have a little bio here. Let me see what I can glean from it. So they're looking for a video or a photo submission. They can be different entries because there's going to be an award for best video and best photo.
Yep.
Heavy put on keeping the video under 30 seconds, making sure that it's a post and not a story. What the content of it is using any iteration of the drink spotter and some type of creative way to engage it or show it off is the main idea of using the drink spotter. The winner of that, we're looking at one of the Blaze Red drink spotters would be one of the prizes. The other prize would be $69 worth of South Dakota scratch tickets.
That's funny.
And Keith, there's some special pieces for runner-ups too, correct?
Probably. I know Joey and I get
or how they're being chosen or something. I know that.
Joey and I and I'm assuming Nate will kind of collaborate, and we get to pick a couple of the runner-ups, or maybe a runner-up. I'm not multiple entries. Yeah, so Massonomics will have, the big sisters will get us on to help them out a little bit. They did get us involved. Joey and I were a little mole adjacent on this because we, if you ever want to, be a mole and get some extra, Massonomics content and gifts and whatnot, just put the last 2 years of your life on hold and host a podcast weekly with no interruptions, pretty much. And every now and then, Tanner will give you a little box, and it might have a red Massonomics drink spotter in it that he tells you shush with, and kind of keep that under wraps for the last couple months, and slowly kind of show it in some stories and some posts in the background, but never really feature it. And then it was kind of cool that when we were both able to post it on our gyms, and everyone was kind of got a kick out of that we've kind of been sitting out on for a while. And then Anthony, did you actually paint your own, or did you get one too? I kind of was thrown off by that. I was like, wait,
that
what?
is the big mystery. That is the big mystery.
We can keep that under wraps unless you need to. I don't know. Let's dealer's choice. You can explain as little or as much as you want to, as I like to say.
Yeah, no, that drink spotter is just a regular drink spotter XL. I went into Photoshop, played around with it a little bit. So if you go in that photo, and open it up a little bit, you can kind of zoom in and see how some of the edges didn't really go nicely. But I think it might have fooled a couple people, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, you definitely had me, because there was people asking for how to paint it advice and stuff, and there's a whole run on thread about that. So
yep.
That's going on. It looks like it starts on February 17th, so that'll be this coming Monday, and then run through. They'll announce the winners the following Monday. So from the time this comes out on Tuesday the 18th, you'll basically have 6 days to get everything posted and submitted, and hashtag drink spotter, I think it's going to be, but go look at the rules on I'm sure Massonomics is going to do a post in Discord and on Instagram, so go look out there for all your information. And appreciate you, Tommy and Tanner, for involving Joey and I in this.
Yeah,
and,
but
we'll be
tag Massonomics and use hashtag drink spotter for the 2 pieces.
Gotcha. Let's do it. And we are not against bribes. I mean, no, we will not be influenced. You cannot influence the influencers, no matter what Joey likes to say. And that'll lead us into everyone should be excited for that. I'm excited for it. It's another opportunity for me to not win a contest, sadly. So I will, begrudgingly probably still not hit my my jacket Hall of Fame until 4 years next December. Well, technically it's this December now, so I'm still 10 months out, unless I pull a contest one out of my ass somewhere between now and then. But not being able to compete in this one just doesn't help my odds any.
So they're only choosing 2 winners, correct? The 2 that win for the photo and the video?
I believe.
That count towards the Hall of Fame?
Yes, that will count for the Hall of Fame. I don't know if any runner-up ones would count. It specifically says the contest winners.
I don't think they do.
Just clarifying.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. Everyone, get your submissions in on that. I'd like to see, so 500 crew-ish. You got to think there's at least 300, somewhat active crew. 150 submissions, be unreal. That should be fair. I'd like to see at least 150 submissions. So go out there and do it, crew. And I'll segue into a little.
And it's multiple entries too. So every idea
Yeah,
you can think of, you can just bombard it.
yeah, yeah. I would definitely save your two best ideas for probably separate because you can't win twice in the same category. But if you have like a really good one in one, and you think it would make another good video, maybe try to make it a picture instead. If you're but that's what I would suggest. But you do what works for you, crew. Did anyone enjoy Big Keith's strongman performance this weekend and all the laughter and memes that came out of a couple of my faux pas?
Yeah, there was a lot of funny memes about that. How do you feel about it, Keith? I mean,
Like, well,
overall,
overall, it was fun. The session was good. It was literally in a dude's barn, like barn gym, but it was like a big, like, I'd say 1,500, yeah, somewhere between 1,200 and 2,000 square feet. So it was a large area. Probably, actually was probably 2,000 feet or 2,000 square feet. That is. And like the only bathroom is a fucking porta john outside in the cold. So, and it was like, complete sheet of ice everywhere there, maybe 25 degrees or something. Inside the gym wasn't too bad. He had the heat cranking, so it was at least 55, 60. Maybe 30, 28, 30 competitors. So, a decent number. I did not have a great performance. I think I got 20 seconds on the Denny hold, which I think I only did like 8 seconds in training, and I had like 21 at comp. I probably could have held on longer, but I was like, I need to save my hands for deadlifts a little bit. So part of me was just like, kind of, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I give myself an excuse and like an out, and just kind of like stop. Could I fight for another 10 seconds maybe? But the guy that beat me in my class, I think he did like 30 seconds. So I would have needed 11 seconds. So maybe it was there, but he also knew he only had to do like 22 seconds to win. So, maybe he could have gone for 2 or 3 minutes, or, maybe the 30 seconds was all he had. So that went into the Viking press, where I didn't practice the way I was. They had it set up to where the bottom, because the way it was set up, the weights were on like a T at the bottom of it. And that's kind of what the base of it was. So when you were sitting it down, it was sitting on like where the weight plates were. So that was really low to the ground for me. So like, I didn't realize that, because initially they had you start on a tire, so you didn't have to like start in a real low position. So then as soon as I did my rep and went down to what I considered like an average to maybe slightly low, like dip and drive, it literally bottomed out the whole fucking apparatus. And the rules on it were, as soon as the bottom hits the floor, it's like the floor is lava, you're out. So I got one extended rep in and then got called. And then like watching back, I was looking at it, I was like, I mean, I would have had to strict press it, but I didn't realize that going in because I didn't practice. I didn't realize that was going to be an issue. So that was kind of on me. It was frustrating, but that was definitely my fault. And then I think that went into the deadlifts. Deadlifts went great for me. I would have liked to have gotten all four, but it was a 500 frame, a 450 13-inch barbell, and then for singles, and then the 425 axle from the floor. I didn't think I was going to get that, because the most I'd hit was like 390 in training. I had missed everything heavier than that in training, but I freaking definitely did a very strongman-esque deadlift with hitching and stuff. So I got that. I got her locked out, and I think I still had like 15 seconds left, and I was trying to get a couple reps on the last bar, which was just a 425 bar from the floor for me. And I was just gassed and my back hurt. I think I gave it 2 really good tugs, and it wasn't going to go up. And I wasn't trying to like, just,
So it was
hitch
there
that.
it was there on meet day.
The axle was, the last barbell was not, sadly.
Yeah.
And then that leads into the sandbag carry, which was the, everyone's meme content. So after deadlifts, I wanted to put my knee sleeves back on. So I had my flats on for deadlifts, and I went over, I took a flat off, put the knee sleeve on, put the flat back on apparently. And then on the other side, I just somehow ended up with my knee sleeve on and then a squat shoe on, not my fucking flat. So I went out there, did my run, didn't realize I had a flat and a elevated squat shoe, an Addy Power. So it's like a 3/4 inch elevation. So not a small squat shoe. And I think it was supposed to be 200 pounds, but their 200-pound sandbag got a hole in it, which I was kind of glad about, because then they had to bump it down to 175. So I was like, sweet, 175. I'm gonna run so far with this thing. I got like the first 2 feet, and I realized. So I didn't realize I had the wrong shoes on until the end, but like I realized there was something wrong. I was just like, I thought my ankle was just like twisted or something, because I was like in excruciating pain every single step with my right foot that had the flat on, just felt like someone was like just cracking my ankle with a hammer. So I think I only got like 2.5 laps where I was hoping for like 6 or 7 because it wasn't that big of a track. I don't know, like 30 yards or 20 yards, probably 20 yards. Yeah, so I think I just dropped the bag when I still had like 15, 20 seconds left, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going back to pick that up. Like, I'm in so much pain right now. And then one of my buddies came over and was like, yeah, dude, you had 2 different shoes on. And I looked down and I was like, son of a bitch. But I didn't really have time to laugh at it. I was more annoyed.
So Keith, would you say it's better to have mixed grip with deadlift straps or mixed shoes? Which is better?
Oh, I would say it depends on I will never mix grip deadlift again the rest of my life because I feel that contributed to my back pain, and I don't want to blow a bicep out. But Jesus Christ, I feel like I was lucky to walk away with both ACLs after that. So maybe I would have to mix grip deadlift with straps if I had to. Versus, I don't recommend anyone trying to run with like a medium-sized sandbag on their pecs and just try to run with the wrong shoes on or 2 different shoes. I would have been better off with, I think if I just had 2 squat shoes on, it would have been fine. Like, it still would have sucked, but like that wouldn't have been bad. It was the offsetness of like, I don't know. I guess it was just like, it emphasized how much weight was hitting my foot because it was coming in like just not parallel to the ground. It was
right. And even when you're moving with something heavy, and I mean, you've felt that before and everything, but to have it feel different and not know what is feeling different, that will definitely throw you off mentally for sure.
Like, what in the F, boys? So I know people enjoyed that. And then
it's interesting that it was the non-elevated one. And I feel like that's the most uncomfy shoe is the lifters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't imagine walking in my lifters.
Yeah, man, the barefoot shoes are hard for me. I'm still getting used to them. Like, I need that ankle stability. I bought into it because it was Massonomics had them. I have the Crew ones or the Ergonomics or whatever. So like, they're cool. I love them. I will always deadlift in them. I don't know if I love them for moving events. If the floor is soft, maybe. And this was turf, but it wasn't like, it was like really thin turf on a piece of concrete. It wasn't like turf on a rubber mat that was like super turfy or like spongy already. But I think I might have to rethink what my go-to implement moving shoe is, because I think in Crew Falls I literally just wore like my tennis shoes, like my actual just like everyday out and about tennis shoes, and they work great. So maybe I need to go back to that. But and then we finished. So the event was called Stone Wars. So we ended with stones, and I think I was supposed to do 4 stones, and I just got gassed on the 4th one. It was a weight I could have done and have done before. I think it was like 200, 220, 230, and 250 or something, and I couldn't get the 250 up, which is frustrating because I've done 265. But it was also one of those things where like I tried it twice. I still had 15 seconds left, and I'm just like, there's no way I'm gonna get it. And part of me is like, I don't know if I'll get better with that with the more strongman stuff I do, but it's also, I've been hurt too much in my life from lifting stuff, so I've also like have that fear in my head of like, I'm not going to muscle fuck this up. I'm just going to call it, and it's not going to affect I'm going to come in last place no matter what. So it's like, me getting this stone or not doesn't matter because the other guy already beat me on time. So like, why should I keep trying to hurt myself? And I know that's not like the most competitive, but like, I'm not going to get any stronger on meet day, like if I get this rep or not, and I'm not going to feel much better if I do or not necessarily. So I don't know, but to be determined on what the best, and everyone's going to have their own opinion on that. I'm going to do what works for me and kind of just ignore anyone that says I did it wrong.
No, I think that's a fair way to approach it for sure.
Yeah. So that is enough about me rambling on about my day. Let's see. So Antony, I do have a funny story for you. You may or may not get it. Anybody that listens to this podcast long enough or has been in Crew knows, do we call Paul Floss a lot of the time? And it's like, because Nate thought his name was Floss. Actually, no, Nate, I think maybe I'm going to butcher this. No, he literally thought his name was Floss. So he sent us a bunch of dentist stuff when we were getting ready to do his episode, and we had to explain to him that it was Foss, like Foss, not Floss. And then today, Nate was asking he was referencing Antony in our text thread, and he, spelled it out as Anthony. So then I had to correct it with Anthony, with the asterisk to be like, this is his name. And then Nate's response was just Floss. because Nate doesn't know anyone's name, and it just made me chuckle immensely. So that was my Nate story. And then, you guys want to rate last week's episode of the Massonomics podcast? I will let one of you guys talk because I've been rambling for a while. So just tell me what the episode was. Tell me what you liked about it, and give me a rating, please, Anthony.
Yeah. So the podcast episode last week, they were going over. It was a shorter one actually too. So an hour 30 minutes maybe. And I was like,
it's because they always forget to do unpaid or underrated when they don't have a guest on for some reason. I don't understand them.
Yep, they need to bring that back for sure.
We're trying to start that as a petition, but
And then they ended the episode talking about they were going to leave some topic for a later episode. So maybe next one will be longer. But so the title of that one was Exploring SoCal's Best Home Gyms, Garage Gym Tour, episode 462. And I did get a chance to listen to all of it. I thought it was pretty good. There was a lot of funny stories in there too. Tommy's plane story specifically got a pretty big chuckle out of me with that. Anyway, it was just pretty cool to hear them listen to or hear them talk about all the different places that they got to go and who they got to see. Chad, Grant, Darko, some of the other crew and everything, and kind of talk about their experience with that, and then also tease all of those videos that are going to come. I thought that was pretty enjoyable.
Nice. Sorry, I just switched over from my phone to my laptop. Did we get a rating from you?
So the rating I would give it, I'd have to give it 5 out of 5. Crew gym tours.
Ooh, nice. That's a good one. Hogan, what do you think of it, buddy?
I thought it was great. I love hearing that behind the scenes kind of stuff. I think that's a big piece of being crew, is that we are all behind the scenes, and getting to hear more of that from on the main episode was very fun. I think it's more reason for people to think to join crew, is you get more of that all the time. And so because of that, I give it 5 Massonomics license plates out of 5.
Nice.
Massonomics plates.
I'm glad you're supporting your missing Mexico. It still cracks me up when the people say that. I enjoyed it. Wish it was longer. They definitely did you the old bait and switch there of like, oh, they're about to get onto one of their like 20-minute topics here at the end that's just gonna segue into 4 more conversations, and like, nope, 90 minutes and cut it. Probably the last few weeks, and then including 2 nights ago, like I've tried to do the live, and I'm just like, I'm going to bed. It's like, especially the last, so this week they were really late. It was almost 10 o'clock, and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, I even like got it to where they logged in, and I looked at my phone. I'm just like, I got to get up at like 5. I'm sorry. I'm gonna, because it is enjoyable to listen to the whole episode in one shot. Like, both are enjoyable immensely. Like, I like listening to the lives when I can, but if it's not a convenient night for me, like I have been not forcing myself to listen to it and then have to try to remember where I was at in the episode and try to pick that up. So, but as far as that episode, I love hearing about them. The tour. Everyone that knows me, I like recaps. Recaps are fun and enjoyable. We try to do a handful of recap episodes here. We should have one for recap of the Arnold coming up here next month, hopefully. And but yeah, was it Andrew and one of the Davids, Darko, as far as the crew, and I think they met up with Mofo. Any other crew they got to meet up with. It's the stank they didn't work out with CT Fletcher, but I agree. Like, just going to CT Fletcher's gym without CT Fletcher and like just having one of his sons give you the gym tour, it's like that's not what they were there for. So I agree with their decision on that one. Grant, and all those guys. I did enjoy, and it was for the topic they teased actually is super relevant to me, because they were talking about like what's more important. So, buying, saving money, going to imported, supporting American made. And then Tanner, I think it was Tanner that said like, well, maybe it was Tommy. Either one of them had mentioned like, what about the flip side of it? If you just like buy something used, you're not supporting anyone. And that was like right after I had just bought like a used piece of equipment that is from an American manufacturer. And I'm just like a very small American manufacturer. And I'm like, huh. I did kind of feel guilty about that, because I did take money out of like his or Dean's pockets where I would have bought a knurled axle from, but now it's like, well, I got a $300 bar for $50. I'm not going to go buy another $300 bar of the same style anytime soon. So, I'm more intrigued about their upcoming episode too. But this episode is great, and home gym talk is always fun. So the travel. I think the part I laughed at the most was Tommy having to sit next to a very large man, and how he at least was lucky enough to have the aisle seat because yeah, being on they both suck, but there's nothing worse than being on the window side and having someone twice your size to your left, well, or to the other side. I've experienced both, and it's just yeah. I'd much rather be in the aisle because then you can just live in the aisle basically and just get hit by the cart. But that's better than like getting like your face in the window. So for all those reasons, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 diamond plate horse stall mats. And real quick, there was a YouTube video. Did anybody watch the Tommy and squats with Chad? Do a very quick little recap on that because we got to get to our guest here in a minute.
Yeah, I actually did get a chance to watch that and be the first comment on that. No big deal. When that dropped. So yeah, their video was Secrets to a Big Squat with Chad Wesley Smith. And in a little surprise, Tommy was the one who was in the video. Tanner was actually filming this one, which is always a fun little surprise. Oh, yeah. But yeah, Chad is just basically walking Tommy through different parts of the squat. So how to set up with the grip, bracing, putting your feet down, breathing into your obliques, and then using some tempo and upper back to have an explosive and powerful squat. So I thought that was pretty informative for sure. I know that I grabbed a few things from that. One thing that I hadn't really thought about was like warming up. I'm a low bar guy. And so when I put my hands, I really feel it in my wrists, which I know you're not supposed to. You should have it on your back. And that's where the bar is. But no matter what, just with my anatomy, my wrists are just bent like crazy. So causes a lot of pain. And one thing I hadn't really even thought about is warming up with like a wider grip and then bringing that in slowly. For some reason, I had never really thought of doing that. When I do my warm-ups, they're exactly the same as my top set. So I'll position my hands the exact same way. I'll brace the same exact way, and I'll do my tempos exactly the same way. Pretty much the way that I warm up is the way that I do my heavy working sets. Chad, is an advocate of warming up, and having that grip out a little bit wider, slowly working it in as you get to those heavier sets.
That makes sense. You think you'll implement that? Or have you probably haven't had a squat session yet, but I guess my advice, I'm not advice, but like the way I would look at it, if you are going to switch something up, it's like, as long as you do it before you put your belt on, you're probably good. Like from like all the way up to like 60% or something, or whatever, you could, not that you put your belt on at 60%, but like somewhere in that range of experimenting. It's like, you're not going to hurt yourself having a super wide stance or super wide arm stance at like 135 to like 275, anywhere in that realm, you should be fine. But that'll be cool. What about you, Hogan? That's all good. Well,
yeah, and I think I haven't barbell squatted in. Hear me all right?
Yep.
But I haven't barbell squatted in. It's all safety squat bar, Mars bar, and so it's been nice to kind of see a little bit more of that because I'm sure at some point my coach will reprogram in barbell squats. Because if I tell him I have a mobility issue, he makes me do those things to undo that, regardless of anything else. He just wants me able to do it. So it's good. It's good to get a refresher on things that I will likely come into play the minute I tell on myself to my coach.
Nice.
Did you get a chance to watch that, Keith? Then that one?
Yeah. I watched it. Yep. It was it was in the background as I was driving back, so it was kind of like it was on the GPS or it was on the phone, but like the map was like 90% of the phone, and then like Tommy and Chad were like 10%. I was just like cruise controlling back, so It was consumed, but not on the big screen. So
sure.
I might have ended up like I can't remember. I think I got all the way through the end of it, but definitely was slightly distracted. So we'll have to get to it. Well, Big Antony, would you like to hit us with a Massonomics sponsor read?
Yeah, I can do that. All right, today's episode is brought to you by the fellows over at Massonomics. Massonomics is a longtime sponsor of this podcast, and they are the go-to place for people that like to lift hard and live easy. Massonomics is home of the Discord crew, which is a place for like-minded individuals to talk about all things lifting and lifting adjacent. Whether you're just starting your lifting journey or you are a seasoned veteran, the people over at Massonomics and in the very active Discord are friendly and bound to have that one piece of advice that may help you with your training and will definitely give you a daily dose of laughter. The big thing in the Discord this week was all the crew submitting their certified training facility photos. So it's been really cool to see everyone's different setup and give them some love in the Discord. In other big Massonomics news, Massonomics is officially returning to the bus in 2025. If you're planning to if you're planning on making the trip out to the Arnold this year, like Keith, Hogan, and myself, be sure to check out the Massonomics booth, number 1655, located right in front of the Strongman entrance. As per Arnold tradition, the people over at Massonomics are releasing some brand new merch. Tanner and Tommy did give me some teasers and some sneak peeks as to what kind of things they'll be bringing to the booth this year. And I did actually get the go ahead from them to talk about it on the podcast tonight. Keith, Hogan, do you guys want to hear about some of the new items?
It's a bear shit in the woods.
So to start off,
let's have it.
To start off, they're going to have a brand new I Survived the Arnold bathroom sticker. Classic. We all know what a war zone that place can be. So be sure to let others know what you conquered by picking up a sweet new sticker when you see them at the booth. They are also going to be releasing not one, not two, but 3 brand new shirts. 2 of these shirts are returns of existing designs, and the third one is a brand new, never before seen release. It's pretty exciting there. They're also going to be releasing a brand new pair of mesh shorts for the Arnold. Ooh. So if you've been loving the way that those feel and how those look, be sure to snag a pair before those ones inevitably sell out. And lastly, Tanner and Tommy are working to get a new license plate made in time for the expo. We know the license plate that they have now is the Miss in Mexico or Massonomics South Dakota plate. But this new license plate features a special Arnold, Ohio design. And it'll be on the same license plate blank that so many love.
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be a nice little exclusive one.
For sure, yeah. So be sure to be on the lookout for those items and snag them when you see them at the Arnold. Massonomics will also be recording some videos at the Arnold and getting content out of that trip. So be sure to say hi when you see them and keep an eye out for all those YouTube videos coming out. Also be sure to go leave a comment on their recent YouTube video, The Secrets to a Big Squat, featuring Chad Wesley Smith, and tell them that the folks over at Unpaid and Underrated sent you. Lastly, if you're relatively new to the Discord and have not done so, check them out on Apple Podcasts and leave them a 5-star review. Help them to finally get on the road to 600 5-star reviews. Tanner and Tommy said that they have huge plans once they reach 600, so be sure to check them out over there. Leave a 5-star review. Thank you to today's sponsor, Massonomics.
Nice, well done. And I think you should, because I forgot, tonight's been pretty hectic for everyone, or me specifically. So I kind of usually the last thing I do is I throw to the guest like, "Hey, was there anything in the Massonomics world I missed this week?" And I feel like, I think you had some of those ready to go, and then you just put them in the ad read for me, which I love that you thought on your feet there, and that was perfect. So very well done. Well, Big Hogan, I think we ought to kick all these looky lures off and see if we can get our guest on the horn. What do you say, buddy? You think we should do that? Hogan gave me the thumbs up, so
let's do it.
Yeah, so Big Antony, is that you, buddy?
Yes, it is. Is that you, Keith?
Yeah, I'm finally here. I finally got my computer to work. So yes, I am here now, and we got Big Hogan here with us, giving me a little co-host support, filling in for Mr. Joey. He was sorry. So Anthony, sorry to let you know, Joey won't be here tonight. You know, this is the news to you. You just logged on, so sorry to let you know that. But Big Hogan will fill his shoes admirably, and we'll get her done. So let's just kick it off. What brought you to Massonomics, Anthony?
So
fill those barefoot shoes.
Yeah. So I was actually brought to Massonomics. So Massonomics is based out of Western Northeast South Dakota, Aberdeen, South Dakota, which happens to be the town that I was raised in. So I've lived in Aberdeen my entire life. And I didn't actually find out about Massonomics until I was starting high school. I did actually get to watch them during their Strongman Showdown at the Brown County Fair. Nice. In August 2017 and 2018. And I got to see some of the gym members that I eventually got to become friends with compete in some squats. So it was kind of cool to see that, before I ended up joining Massonomics. So I was doing strength and conditioning workouts for my sports when I was in high school and everything. And one of my buddies said that his brother was lifting at a gym called Massonomics. And I remember seeing that at the Strongman Showdown, and I wasn't aware that they were in actually Aberdeen. And I guess I just didn't really know what it was at the time. And so then I Googled it, found the gym, found their Instagram and everything. And so, I didn't actually think to reach out on Instagram because I didn't know who was behind it. And I didn't know really what it was. So I actually found the gym on Google, and not their old location. This is when they had just moved over to where the gym is at now.
Mm-hmm.
But I found the gym and the door was locked. And so what I did is I camped outside the gym, just waiting there until I saw someone walk in or walk out that looked like they were lifting there. And so I actually stopped one of the gym members, told him who I was and that I wanted to get into Massonomics and see what it was about. And he actually hooked me up with Tanner, and Tanner texted me back, told me to come in for a tour. And I know that he said that like he's done some, make vetting, to try to make sure that the people.
I love when he goes into those stories about.
Yeah,
I make it as hard as possible for them to become members.
Yeah. And for some reason, I don't know what it was. That wasn't my situation. Maybe I already had it hard enough. I was waiting outside for like literally hours for someone to like. It was a couple hours that I was just sitting in my car. Just wild. Waiting for one of the members. Some member walked out, and I approached him and asked him if I could get the owner's number. And so, Tanner was really quick to schedule a tour with me. He came down, showed me the gym, and this is when the gym they didn't have that big expansion.
Just the first room, yeah. It was just,
Yep. So, I started lifting there when I was 16. So I would be a sophomore. I was.
That's so like you're approaching like a 30-year-old grown man as a essential child of like, sir, can I have this other grown man's phone number? And they're just like, wait, does that kosher?
Yep.
But it's for a very good cause. It's literally for lifting weights. It's clanging and banging. So I get it.
Right. And I am surprised that he believed me, because when I started lifting at the gym, I'm not a relatively big guy now, but I was really not a big guy back then. I mean, I was like 130 pounds and I'm 5'7". So I'm just a little guy. So, thankfully that he saw some potential in me and, let me join the gym after that whole vetting process. So
that's awesome.
That's the whole beauty of Massonomics. When you're here, you're big. That's
true.
All you have to do. You don't have to
that's
do
true.
Else.
And that is a memory that has stuck with me. I remember, Tanner calling me Big Antony, and, at the time I didn't realize that that's what they did with everyone. And so I go back and
you're special.
Yep. I go back and I tell my parents, and because they were like, where have you been or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I checked out this gym finally, and my nickname is Big Antony at the gym, and just it was pretty funny. And so it's kind of cool that he calls everyone that and everything, but that definitely made me pretty happy for a while. So
I wonder if he had to create like a special waiver for you as being because I know there's I know some other minors there, but were you like, because it's like that's like a weird, not weird, but like to like allow a minor to train at your gym without like parent supervision. Like I'm sure, I don't know if is that legal? Like I don't.
I don't remember for sure. I remember filling out that waiver that he hands everyone. But I don't remember what it says or anything like that. But it was all just pretty chill. Everything that they did was pretty chill and low key, and so it was just make sure you're lifting safely and everything, and don't do anything silly. But
this was before drink spotters. I don't know how you could be safe. It's a pretty dangerous place for someone to send their kid.
It was very dangerous, but.
And it was definitely before red drink spotter, so be sure to not miss out on that and go get your submission in this week, ladies and gentlemen. Big Antony, where are they going to find you out on the social media? Where do you want people to find you at, buddy?
So you can find me at my Instagram. I'm not super active in posting, but I do like other crew members, and I am active with liking that. My handle is Anthony.Martinez14, plain and simple, just like that.
And I think you recently made your Discord a little more user-friendly. I think it's your own picture now and not Ronnie Coleman. And it actually has a name possibly, because wasn't just, well, I don't remember what it was before, but it wasn't like, no, I didn't know it was you. I only knew it was you because Tanner referenced it being you, but like nothing about your profile or username would make me think it was you.
Yeah. And so when I joined the Discord, I didn't have it as my name or anything. It was just nicknamed Ortho Bro.
That's what it was.
And it was a picture of Jack Ronnie Coleman. So I'm relatively new to the Discord. I've been in the Discord for a little over a year now. But it was just kind of like a weird like limbo I was in. I was following the Instagram, and I've been listening to the podcast for many years now. So I heard the creation of the crew, and in the gym, Tanner, I would see him pretty often, and we would talk and everything, and he had mentioned that this was going to be like forming and everything. And, I wasn't one of the first people to join the crew, but heard about it all on the podcast and all that stuff and saw it on Instagram, all those memes created by the crew and everything. And when I just last year in January decided to join the Discord because I was going to be moving away from Massonomics, and so I still wanted some kind of tie to what Massonomics was, and thought that that would be a pretty appropriate time to join in the Discord, and best decision I've ever made.
So technically, listeners, he moved away from Aberdeen, but the fact that he said I'm moving away from Massonomics because Massonomics is essentially Aberdeen. I hope that wasn't lost on everyone, as I enjoyed that sentence immensely.
Yep.
Hogan, anything you want to hit him with?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had one question for you, Antony. You talk about moving away from Massonomics. Are you do you have a certified training facility?
I do have a certified training facility. I believe that my certified training facility, and I got to shout out Big Garrett from the Discord. He was a recent unpaid underrated guest. He actually bought this certified training facility. He certified it in my name. He had to go through that entire process for me. He bought it as a surprise. And so
That's cool.
When I met up with him to bring him some lifting equipment from Massonomics, he said he had a package for me as well and handed it to me. And it was a certified training facility. One
That's
of the
awesome.
best. Yeah, one of the best days ever.
Wherever you go, you're going to bring Massonomics with you. You don't have to leave Massonomics. You are Massonomics.
Yes. And so the training facility that I got certified, it's just south of Crew Falls. It's where I'm living right now. It's where hopefully I'll be going to school in the future. But it's the USD Wellness Center. And so I think I haven't really looked at all different 200 locations on the map. I am pretty positive it is the largest training facility in South Dakota. It might be one of the largest training facilities in the nation. So I am a proud owner of one of the largest training facilities.
Nice. So I've been to South Dakota a time or two. So that's north of Watertown, I'm assuming, and by at least an hour? Because I'm trying to, I know, I can name a handful of towns going down. There's Brookings, and then there's Watertown, and then it's Aberdeen, starting from Crew Falls at the top, right? And going down, going south, it's Sioux Falls, Brookings, Watertown, Aberdeen. Or am I got that mixed up?
So we can just say Aberdeen, western northeast South Dakota at the top there. To go down to Crew Falls.
Oh yeah, I had an inverted.
Yeah,
I was Tom Cruise middle finger inverted.
Yep. And so you would pass Crew Falls and continue going south. Actually, almost down to Nebraska and Iowa.
Okay.
I am on the river right there, so that is where that training facility is located.
Gotcha. So you got a little haul
Big Antony, you do have the certified training facility. Is there one piece of Massonomics merch that you've missed out on, or you saw from the back catalog that you wish you could have gotten?
So the back catalog didn't really exist for me, just for how long I've been listening. I got in kind of early enough where my very first shirt that I ever got was that OG black on black Massonomics logo.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first shirt. As a gift, as a Christmas gift. If I could, have any piece of merch again, I would want that one for starters, because that one actually got bleached when my mom was doing my laundry.
Oh no.
She bleached it, and I got it right here. I know that the listeners can't see it, but it's brown. It's supposed to be black, but it's brown. So
at least it's consistent. I was afraid it's gonna have a bunch of pink white spots all over it.
No, and it looks better on the camera, but it is unfortunately not black on black anymore. So if I could get one thing again, it would be that OG black on black shirt back. But I do wish I would have picked up that neon lift shirt, lift hard, live easy on the back. I think that one looks pretty nice. All the other ones, I've seen and just chose from them over the years and everything, and I'm pretty happy with the stuff that I have right now.
Nice. So you kind of hit on some of your Hall of Fame stuff. So you want to hit us with your supporting membership number and your Hall of Fame status? Just kind of update us on that.
Yeah. So my supporting member number is number 325. So a little bit after halfway for sure, from the 500. And then my Hall of Fame status, I'm at 12 right now. If I were to post on Instagram, I'll be at 13.
Wait,
And
you don't have a crew photo on Instagram?
I don't know.
No, you
I
had to
said,
have been, no, there's no, I mean, so Tanner had to have posted you in something because there was
well,
the trifecta. Well, but I guess it has to be your Instagram,
right.
doesn't it?
That's how I interpret it.
Okay, because I mean, but if you go to your tagged photos, that's on your Instagram.
Yes,
But
I am in I have been posted on Massonomics a few
that's
times
You
your
over
can
the
just
years.
that's
screenshot and
literally
tag it.
that's your fault. No one feels bad at you for not being 13 because you won't post on social media.
No,
You
and
also, you also
I
I think your only social media post is you playing basketball as a 14-year-old. So I guess you have to keep that mystery of who is Antony on
for sure.
Instagram.
Yeah. So yeah, I've just debated about maybe just making a separate Instagram account. And
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
not sure what I'm doing. I'm not sure what I'm doing with Instagram wise. I'm not active with that. But yeah, so it'll be 13 when I post.
Well,
But I should have the jacket by next crew fall. So the same with
Oh,
you.
nice.
So, I was thinking maybe just skip all those and just go right to 15.
Yeah,
Not sure how that's
do it all at once.
Yep. Just
Wait
do it
for
all at
like
once.
yeah. So like the Friday at Crew Falls, post a group photo, and then Saturday get your cup or something or your jacket.
Yep. Yeah. So
Nice.
this summer I'll check off competing at the Lift Hard Live Easy. I've been to all of them. But since I wasn't an actual competitor, uh, obviously it doesn't count. My supporting membership, those will actually be the things that are holding me back. Which is
Yeah,
kind of crazy to say. So big bummer not joining the Discord earlier.
same.
So I'll have just gotten 2 years next crew falls. So I will be eligible for that jacket then.
Nice, nice. Well, we got a game we like to play. Some might say I don't explain it very well, others say I might. So we're gonna give it a run here. So it's called Least Fun, Most Fun. Big Antony, I'm gonna give you a single topic, and I need you to specifically tell me the least fun thing about this single topic and the most fun thing about it. It's not either other or which one is it? It's I want definitive answers of what you like the most and what you like the least amount, essentially, about this thing. If you're not comfortable answering it, we can, move on. So I want to hear the least fun, most fun thing about being an EMT.
Can I just start off? I love how every single episode for the past few weeks that explanation's gotten longer and longer with how you explain it. And I thought it'd be funny to
I can't even remember who butchered it. I can't. Oh no,
I recently
it
remember
was
Tommy Schneider.
it was Tommy. Yeah, Tommy didn't get it. And then I was like, well, shit, man. Like, did I do something wrong? Like, I know he says he's listened to a handful of episodes. Like,
Yeah.
I took it as like, I'm not doing my job good enough, so I have to do my job better. So I'm more of I'm what you would call a knee-jerk overreactor. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tend to lean into well, if I was said I didn't do it right, now I got to really do it right. So
Mhm.
someday I'll stop beating that dead horse. But for now, I'm gonna play into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I thought it would be funny to just do it wrong anyways, even after you just explain it really well. I just go most
uh,
fun being an EMT.
about spit my drink up on that one. That would
Yeah.
have been hysterical, and I would have
Yeah.
been fine with it. So
So I
that's
was
all
I
good.
was debating about that, but least fun, most fun things about being an EMT. I will start off with the most fun thing about it is patient contact. I like working with patients, even though we're seeing them on one of their worst days, and they could be feeling extremely sick or have just faced some trauma and everything. It is kind of fun to do assessments and work with patients and get their treatment started, on a good note, get them to the hospital in a timely manner, making sure that we do everything in our power to just kind of, again, start that treatment off on a good note, because no one likes to go to the hospital and go to the hospital by the ambulance. There's just so many things that come with that. Um, but for me, it is fun to do, different procedures and assessments and just stuff within my scope, and to just treat patients and use what I know to try and make their experience a little bit better. The least fun thing about it is probably the inconsistent sleep schedule that you get. So the agency that I'm at, it we run 24-hour shifts.
Ooh.
So we clock in, start our shift at 7 a.m., and then we would get done at 7 a.m. the next day. And during that time, we start off the day, we do truck checks and everything. We have some chores that we do around the station, any kind of maintenance on the trucks, just all different sorts of stuff. The rest of the time is just kind of yours to do with whatever you want to do. That includes like taking naps if you want to, so I'll always try and get a nap in just because you never know what that night could bring. You could sleep the entire night. or you could be awake the entire night. It really is just a flip of a coin. Um, and so that kind of stinks, especially, when you're trying to prioritize, health and, start making some good progress in the gym. Obviously, sleep is a very important thing with that. And so, the least fun thing is waking up, at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and knowing that, you're not going to be back in your bed for at least an hour, before you, go on to do your next day, so.
What's the typical reaction?
So Big Antony.
Yep. Go ahead. You're good.
Oh, I was going to ask you a little bit kind of for the listeners on being an EMT, what was kind of the progress to be there, the process, and where are you looking at what next?
Yeah. So I became an EMT because I was studying pre-med in college. And so one of the courses that my college was offering was an EMT class with the city. And so it actually counted as college credit. And I thought that it would be a great way to get some medical experience, something that's like a little bit different than what a lot of pre-meds try to go for. And so I took that class with the fire department up in Aberdeen, did that, and it's just a semester-long class, however many weeks that is. And you have classes. Classes were like twice a week for 4 hours in the evening, so kind of a little bit of a weird schedule with that, but, not too bad. And so there's just a lot of lectures you go through, and then you end up getting to work with hands-on stuff, and then you practice all those different assessments, and then you have to take a final test at the end to become a nationally registered emergency medical technician. Once you do that, you just apply with the board of South Dakota, and they get back to you on that and, tell you that you've passed and that you can start practicing in South Dakota. And so, to actually do all of that, it just takes, a semester long class, if that, to be able to do that. And again, like I said, I started doing that to get some medical experience, to apply to medical school. And I think it's probably one of the best things that I've ever done. I mean, I enjoy the job, but after doing it, I know that that's not what I want to do for the rest of my career. I want to be able to help my patients a little bit more and in different ways. And so I'll use the experience that I have from being an EMT to apply to medical school, hopefully get in at USD, like Big Garrett, and hopefully become a surgeon in the future and come back to South Dakota and practice.
Did Garrett officially get in? Or is he still waiting?
To answer your question, Keith, he is still waiting on that. I think he finds out the week of the Arnold, actually.
Gotcha.
I know he's helping out with Jake's meet up in Brookings, and he said that that's also when he'll find out if he is into medical school. So best of luck to him for sure. Good
luck to the both of you. I was for the sake of my joke, I was hoping you were both a little farther out because I wanted to get a little rivalry going, like Toby and Dodds, of who's going to pull 700 first, like basically who's going to get into medical school first, or who technically will become a doctor first. But so that's good. I'm glad to hear both of your getting on the right path there.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to be an ortho bro? Are you going to continue it, or are you a general?
Yeah, that is what was the inspiration to my Discord thing, Ortho Bro. I was really interested in orthopedics when I was getting into college, and I decided to do the pre-med route, and I always had my eye on becoming an orthopedic surgeon. And I actually got to scrub into some cases during college and, actually experience what the OR is like and everything. And, you can't really say that you want to do it without, getting some experience in it first. And so after having scrubbed in and everything, I know, like, for sure that is definitely one of the most things that I'm interested in, med school wise, but when you get into medical school, you learn so much and you have different rotations that what you go in wanting to do is not necessarily the thing that you come out doing. Plans change and you have different interests or decide that you just don't like it. But for right now, the eye is on becoming an ortho bro for sure.
Sweet. Well,
we need to have a full medical care team at every Live Hard, Live Easy. So that's what we need.
Yep.
People don't want to work on their vacation.
Yep.
But yeah,
we're gonna make them. We're unpaid. We're unpaid, and we're working.
I do like how nice Harkin there. I do like how diverse just career paths are throughout the crew. It's not just. I mean, there's a lot of blue collar, but there's a lot of white collar too. So it's very much doesn't seem to skew too hard either way. I feel like it's like they have their pretty much got a hand in every pot essentially throughout the job market.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a great thing about, this podcast is just knowing a little bit more, because you don't necessarily see that on their Instagram or they're not actively talking
well,
about what
it's
they
your
do in the
Instagram, you don't see
Discord.
shit.
Yeah, except that I was a basketball player. Yeah. Which is really funny because after that picture, that was the last game of my eighth grade year, I believe. And I didn't play the next year. So I resonate very lowly with basketball.
That's
That is
terrible.
something that just does not.
So
How cool did you feel in that picture when you posted it?
Well, I actually dunked that one, so I feel pretty good about that.
Oh damn! You dunked in.
No, I'm joking.
There's no fucking way yeah, that'd be impressive. So basketball.
Us 5'7" kings can do it.
Yep.
We are all about like I like to claim 5'8", but I'm like 5'7 3/4. Last time I actually like went and had a physical or something. So
well, in the morning you're probably 5'8", and then you shrink throughout the day. So.
You hear that, everybody? I'm 5'8".
Yep.
Take it. So basketball kind of retired at a younger age, but you stuck with football. It sounded like, and is that what you were? That's what got you into training and everything, from what it seems like here.
Yep. Yeah, I quit basketball just to kind of focus on getting into like a good lifting routine to try to put on some mass. I figured if I was going to do basketball, they're going to be having me do workouts that I didn't exactly want to do, and it wasn't really my interest. So I decided to stop basketball, and that was a pretty tough decision because everyone plays basketball at our school. It's just kind of the thing that you do, and so that was a pretty tough decision for me. But after that is when I joined Massonomics, and I just wanted to become bigger and stronger and faster for football and track, and well, I am still not that big. I did put on like 40 pounds. And so, it was definitely, I think, the right decision to do. Yeah.
Nice. What are you competing at this summer? 181 or 165?
181.
Okay. So,
yeah.
What do you used to walk around like 170s then, or?
Recently I've been up in the, I've been like 185. Yeah. So right now I'm a little up. I'm around 181 right now.
Yeah. You want no issue hitting that?
No.
Like, eat
it's
clean
just
for a week, or if God forbid if you do a water cup, but don't recommend that. Will this be your first sanctioned meet coming up then?
This will be my only meet I've ever done ever. Yep.
Oh, dope. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. I thought I saw something about a mock meet in there.
Sorry. Yeah. So I guess I should explain that a little bit. I will be doing Garrett's Liftathon meet in April with Jake, and I think Lou is going to be there, and maybe Dr. Jake from State Farm, some other Massonomics people, a little crew meetup at USD here. So that's supporting Special Olympics. So I'll be doing that. Hopefully, I just injured myself, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be able to do with that, but it's a charity meet for fun. And so, it's not something that you have to go in trying to total your best. It's just what you total is kind of your donation and stuff like that. And so, but with that mock meet, we Massonomics put on a mock meet in March of 2020, right before, everything changed. They just, it was
right before, that was before I actually like knew of them hardly. I might have been following them, but they weren't like in my like circle basically.
Yeah. And so, they have a little whiteboard in Massonomics gym. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that from in person or any videos or anything, but Tanner writes notes on there, and, it had, in 1 week, in 1 week, powerlifting meet starts at this time or whatever. And so there was just maybe about 12 of us that were down there. The music was cranking, and we were using the kilo plates, and we just did squat, bench, deadlift. I don't exactly remember all of my numbers and stuff, but it was just kind of for fun, but everyone was competing hard, and some people were taking it more serious than others and everything. But that was like my first meet that I'd ever done. It lasted multiple hours and stuff, and definitely a lot of fun. Yeah,
that's probably a pretty cherished memory down at Massonomics gym for sure. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
So with your recent injury, I guess it's good that you have the ability to fall back on your bodybuilder roots, because I've had multiple people that said, took a little jab at you for being more of a bodybuilder than a power lifter, or, a bodybuilder stuck in a power lifter's body. So you got a kick out of that. Is the injury anything you're too worried about, or something? Is it just like a little sprain or spasm, or what you got going on?
It's actually worse than I
Oh,
was thinking it was.
that's
Yeah.
not good.
Just the other day I was doing some squats. I was doing 385 for a set of 5,
Hmm.
and on the third rep I was coming out of the hole and I felt this nice pop in my right hip. Uh, and I finished the last 2 reps without any pain, but it was really the day after is when I started feeling something, and was doing a little bit of research and everything. And, I had hip flexor problems in the past. And so, that was kind of the top thing. Then I was thinking muscle strain or kind of tear. And then I was thinking labral tear, tear of the labrum of the right hip. And so I went to go in and, get it looked at by a physical therapist. Didn't get any MRI imaging
Hmm.
done yet, but she is erring on the side that it is a labrum tear. So that was pretty unfortunate to hear. I
Stinks.
I did just do some squats. I'm using Juggernaut AI right now,
Hmm.
and it does have that kind of rehab thing that you can choose to do if you're rehabbing injuries. And so I'm on week 2 of that right
Gotcha.
now, and it's having me do box squats and a couple other things, and doing all of that pain free. So
That's good.
it's yeah, it'll definitely be something to work towards. The liftathon is a few weeks away. I got some time to maybe let it rest and then put
How's
up maybe some 15 squat, but
what's it? Well, I mean, you don't have to squat. You can always bench or deadlift or just
true.
do a push pull. So, like, with that, like, can you bench with any type of leg drive without it being infuriating, or you just have to do like a very like no, just flat back, just like basically you would Larson if you could in competition kind of thing.
Right, right. I can bench without any pain, and
Okay,
thank goodness
that's good.
I can deadlift without any pain,
Okay, so
which
then you
is
just
kind of
just don't
crazy.
even literally don't even try to squat at Jake's thing. I highly implore you to just do a push pull. And
Yeah,
if you do have to, I mean, it would be I mean, because you might consider 315 a token squat, but you could still do some damage at 315 if you like, if you end up if it just like kind of caves in or something.
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
I mean, I get it's a month out, but damn, dude,
yep.
I would be very careful with that. And if you have the ability to push pull and then just really just focus in on July and get your squat built back up and pain
Yeah,
free, hopefully.
yeah, and that's the route that I'm most likely going to take. And again, it's just for fun, so there's literally no pressure at
Yeah,
all, and so I'd rather be a little bit more healthy. Come the lift hard, leave easy, but
makes
just
sense
have
to
to
me.
play it week by week.
It makes sense to me. You got anything for me, Hogan? Sorry, we got a little delay there.
Oh, you're good.
I don't think Big Hogan heard me, so we'll just move on. Sorry if I'm hogging all the thing. Hogan has some Keith Wi-Fi going on over there.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't hear anything for the past minute.
Oh no, you're good. I pitched it to you. If anything in the notes you wanted to jump on before I steal all the good stuff. Uh,
Oh, yeah, I have one form if you can hear me here.
yep.
I guess with all these pieces of trying to keep on that and going between bodybuilding or powerlifting, where do you feel that is Massonomics, do you think, a reason that led you more into more powerlifting? Where do you think kind of that has been and gotten you away from more of that bodybuilding focus? What do you think?
Yeah, I initially when I started lifting and everything, it was to become a little bit stronger, but I was like really heavily influenced from YouTube. This was kind of the like aesthetics era. There was a big push of like, lifting to look good and everything like that. And so that was like my high school experience, all those videos being pushed on me. And so, I idolized some of the guys and everything, and um just kind of wanting to, look a little bit better. But Massonomics being more powerlifting and strongman focused, I realized that, well, I'm not competing in bodybuilding, so powerlifting is just, the way to go. I mean, I'm building strength, I'm putting on muscle, with that. If you decide to lose weight, yeah, you'll look a little bit better for sure. If you gain weight, you'll look better in t-shirts, all that stuff and everything. But um, powerlifting is just a sustainable kind of thing that I've found, and I continue to make progress with that. And yeah, Massonomics was a big part of doing that. And then with their lift hard, live easy, training for powerlifting has just kind of been my focus for the last couple of years now. So
Well, as you progress, you'll one day get over to the strongman like the rest of us as
that
you
does seem to yep,
gravitate
that
away
does
from the
seem
big three.
yep, that does seem to be the trend and everything. So when I get up there, yeah, for sure that's the way I'll go.
It's fun, man. It's good stuff.
Oh, it is fun. I did get to do,
Gotcha. Um,
some stuff in
looking at not, go ahead.
no, I was just saying at Massonomics, I did get to, play around with all of the strongman stuff and everything. I got some tips from Big Tim Feathers, so he helped me with log press and stones and all of that. And so, for a while there, I was training a lot of the strongman stuff. I was doing farmer's carries, yoke. I was doing all of that stuff and everything, but not on any program and not for any competition, but just because all of those things are there, so it would just be silly to not use those.
No, that makes sense. And Tim's a very good wealth of
But be
knowledge.
careful that bug. You'll pull a Keith and do 8 strongman meets in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done one or two. I've done a couple. Sorry.
Other not like other hobbies outside of lifting. I was seeing here Magic Guy, Rubik's Cube guy. What's going on there?
Yeah, I have a lot of random hobbies that I've picked up just as I've grown up and everything. I'm not entirely sure how I got started into Rubik's cubing or cubing, as the cubing community would say. But one day I just saw a Rubik's cube in the store, picked it up and was just like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to solve Rubik's cube. I just think that they're pretty cool. And I remember mixing it up for the first time and being like, oh crap, like this is not easy to put back together. And so that led me down to just becoming relatively good at it. I mean, I'm not competitive at it at all, but I can solve a 3x3 in less than a minute. And I kind of have a collection of Rubik's cubes, and I like learning to solve different ones. So the main one that you'd be used to is just, like a classic 3x3, just the standard one that you see. But then they go down from there. You can have a 2x2, or you can go up to 4x4, 5x5s, sevens, nines, all of that stuff. It goes high, and then also different shapes. And so I do have a pretty wide collection of those and have been able to learn to solve those and everything. But the one that I'd fall back to is a 3x3 for sure. And magic tricks, I've always been interested in card tricks. Again, kind of just taught myself a bunch of those and like to throw those out whenever there's a deck of cards. But
I like seeing the cubing on your thing. In my office, I have a stack of Rubik's cubes, and I have a tissue box. My employment, tissues are an essential thing, and it's a cover is a Rubik's cube. And so I have a 2x2, and the patients are always like, "What monstrosity is this? What did you do to a cube?"
Yeah,
so that's my favorite cube is a 2x2.
You know how to solve them then?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I saw a random Instagram reel, I think it was, where a guy, I think it was bullshit, but he was just, or maybe a specific one, but like, he was like, you can solve every single Rubik's Cube by going like 8 down and 3 over or something, just 8 times or so, whatever it was. But I was just like, is there actually like a logic to every single one, or are they all a little different, or like, is it a mathematical equation almost? And I've never really put much stock into that. I don't know. I've never had one as a kid or as a toy or anything that I can recall.
Yeah, so with a Rubik's cube, that is kind of a thing that some people like to show off online. Like you said, you saw it on a reel. If you have the cube in a solved position, if you rotate any of the sides any number of times, depending on how many you rotate, you'll eventually get it back to a solved state. It's just like rotating one of the sides 4 times. It's a cube with 4 sides, so it's going to go back to its original state. So when you rotate 2 sides, it actually takes about 144 moves. I can do that. And I've counted it before, and it's somewhere in the 100s. But if you move it the exact same way, it'll eventually go back to its solved state. And so that's kind of like a misleading thing that you'll see on reels. People saying that you can solve it with this one algorithm, when in reality, if you were to mix up the cube and hand it to someone, you could not replicate that because it's starting in an unsolved state. But yeah.
Good stuff. And the more you know, as they say here. So much stuff. Sorry. It's just been a very hectic day, ladies and gentlemen. Nicknames. Ant. It seems a little on the nose, eh?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. That has always been just something that people have called me since high school. But I do think that it would be funny to be called like Big Ant. Just 2 things that don't go together. But
so, like I said, I'm not sure how the notes were organized. I'm assuming your significant other. Do you have a significant other?
I do. Yep.
Okay, so I'm assuming she's the one that specifically said this one. So it made me chuckle. My dad still doesn't know how to pronounce his name correctly and calls him Antony.
Yep, that is
That's
exactly
hysterical.
right. Yep.
And you're just too nice of a person to correct it. Like, how often do you? So like, we know knowing how nice of a person you are, I don't see you correcting people when they call you Anthony, like at all.
It
At least not more than once. You'll do it once, and then you'll just say they're just an asshole, and they're going to do that no matter what, and I won't be rude. I That's how I'm. But maybe you do. I don't know.
Yeah, and it depends on, if people just aren't like able to pronounce it,
It
I
took me
don't
a
think
minute.
yeah, I don't think that that my significant other's dad does it, on purpose or to be funny or anything. It's just like the way that he says it, and so I just kind of roll with that, but it is funny. And I did have like some teachers that would she would just keep on calling me like Anthony, just and I'm just like, you my name is Anthony. Like you I know you and I'm in your class, and for some reason just kept on saying it like that. But I will correct them one time. They say Anthony, and I'll say, oh, it's like Anthony but without the H. It's Antony. And then usually people are pretty good about getting it. But
Nice. So one thing I just read here.
I'm excited for in 4 years when you get your medical degree, you can be a big Dr. Ant. That's what I want.
yes, yes. And it is really weird. I have met one other Antony in my life, and he was actually a classmate of mine at my school of graduating class 30 people, which very crazy. Same exact name, same spelling, just weird. I've never met any other Antony personally, and one happened to be in my class. Really weird.
Do you have any Do you have any nieces and nephews? You have siblings, right?
I got siblings. Yep.
Okay, so eventually you'll have potentially have nieces and nephews. I do find it funny that like you and your if when you get married someday and you are going to be an uncle and an aunt with your name being Anthony, and it's
Yeah.
like I could see as a toddler like uncle aunt so and Uncle Anthony, and they're going to be like, wait, well you said aunt twice. I'm so confused as a toddler.
Yeah, that is something I hadn't considered. Yeah, for sure.
Well, is it aunt or is it aunt?
Yeah, that
yeah.
see,
Aunt.
as a Mexican, I don't get Antony. No.
Yeah, that would be tough.
As a Mexican, it's Tia, Tia or Tio.
Ah, okay.
So no confusion on that side, but oh geez. I think it's aunt, not aunt, but yeah.
I think I've always.
I agree.
I've
I'm
never-
an aunt man.
I don't think I've ever said aunt in my life, and like, it's a term of endear. Like, I don't know.
Do
That's a
you
discount Paul Rudd aunt man.
Yeah.
Nice. What were you saying, Antony? Sorry.
When you
I had to do it wrong once.
when you talk to your or about your aunt or uncle, do you say aunt or uncle before their first name, or do you just name them by their first name?
I mean, as a kid, like when I'm like 10 to, I don't know, so like 5 to 12, I'm sure it was aunt and uncle. Is like, I don't know. If I'm addressing them like on Facebook, wishing them a happy birthday, it's definitely like, aunt and uncle. If it's in person, it's like, I don't know. I don't think I've called them aunt or uncle so and so probably in 20 plus years, but in my
Aunt.
head, yeah, aunt. I think I would still say it in my head, but maybe not like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I pay attention to that. I honestly see my extended family like once every 2 years at this point. So it's like, get back to me on our anniversary episode in a couple years, probably.
Yeah, that's just something recently that my girlfriend and I had talked about, because I don't say aunt or uncle in front of it, in front of my aunt or uncles. But my girlfriend does, and that's just something that I guess, yeah, just a different way that we're raised. I don't know.
How big of and also like all my aunts and uncles are 20 plus years older than me. So if they're closer in age, I could see it being more like technically your aunt and your uncle, but they're more like your cousin kind of thing. But I don't know if
Right. Yeah, that probably does make a difference.
How large is the Mexican community in South Dakota? That cannot be very large, eh?
No, it recently it's gotten a lot larger. But it was kind of funny because one I don't even know what year it was or how old I would have been. Probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 or something like that. But there was an article about my family
Oh wow.
in the newspaper, and it was something to do with, diversity or something like that, being like a Mexican family. Now there's a lot more Mexican grocery stores, and a couple Mexican places, and just the diversity of Aberdeen is just growing a lot lately too. It just Yeah, I don't know exactly for sure because my dad's family isn't here. It's just my mom's side.
Hmm.
So I rarely get to see my dad's side. But yeah, in Aberdeen, it's grown a little bit, and we'll probably continue like that.
Do you think where do you think you'll end up eventually? Because I know you're where you're at now for work, it seems like, and school's gonna take you somewhere else altogether. What's like your long term, like 20 years from now, where do you want to live kind of thing if you have like choice?
Long term, Aberdeen. I will
Nice.
go back. As long as Massonomics is there, you got to go back there. So,
There you go.
um, yeah.
Do, have you do you have to reactivate the membership or do you still paying your dues?
I don't pay right now. But Tanner is nice enough that anytime I do get up to Aberdeen, like I'm going this weekend, he lets me go into the gym. And so that's been
Oh,
that's been
nice.
super nice, because he knows that if I were in Aberdeen, I would be paying for the membership and
No, that makes sense.
have been a member for a while. And so that's just kind of, one of the nice things that he does for us. So
Deal. Well, Hogan, do you want to do a little let's see, you think we should get into do you got a Mount Rushmore you want to hit him with? I can circle back to you if you need to.
Oh yeah, yep, I hear you. Yeah. I was interested in kind of, again, more crew knowledge for us. Mount Rushmore, Massonomics gym members.
That's mean. That's hard.
yeah. So Mount Rossmore, Ross Taylor for sure.
Dude.
Pretty sure he is a crew member. The last I saw, I
Yeah,
don't know if
yeah.
I don't
He's
know if
not.
his
He is in Discord. I think I tagged him in something the other day, possibly, but he is not. I don't think I know. Well, I know for a fact he does not listen to the podcast. He said the only episode he listened to was the one he was on like 7 years ago or something.
Yep,
Actually, he
yep.
might have said he didn't even listen to that one. But I talk to Ross every time I'm out in South Dakota. Well, Aberdeen. I don't think he made it up to Crew Falls, but I talked to him at the zoo a good bit. Yeah,
Yep.
Ross, good guy.
Yep. Ross, I would have to put Big Flying Ryan on there for sure. Ryan's pretty awesome. Big Caden, he's not super active. Pretty sure he's still a Discord member. I know he was.
Yeah.
Is he not anymore?
No, he is. But
Okay.
as far as not being active, having a kid and a wife and a career
Oh,
as a police officer would probably impede some crew shenanigans and
yep,
keep you off
yep,
Discord a little bit.
yep. Yeah, I know he joined long before I ever did. Um, and I guess we could shout out Megan the quarter horse, right?
She's great.
She just I haven't talked to her in person before. I've been lifting at the same time that she has been. But I did just see that recently she did find her way into the Discord. So now there is no excuse for anyone not to be in the Discord. So we'll give her a spot on the Mount
Found
Rushmore.
found her way in. I love how you put that. That made
Yep.
me happy. No, I Megan's great. She's been in so much content lately between our podcast and then like Huck's Finn podcast. Well, he mentioned not I don't know if he mentioned her by name, but he mentioned like an interaction with her, and then Tanner. Yeah, it's great. She is a hoot, and it took her forever to get on Discord. But I also like you can't blame her. Like she's like I don't know operating a phone or a laptop in any capacity when you can see 7% in front of you, I believe it's like that's got to be brutal.
Yep.
So kudos to her, and I hope she enjoys it. Okay, so that'll kick it over to me. So FMK, Anthony, do you want to explain to listeners what FMK is and how one would play it?
FMK. So you're going to be given three topics that are related to one another, and you have to choose one to F, you have to choose one to kill, and you have to choose one to marry. So Keith is going to give me some topics. Hopefully, I can pick out of those. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not. Hopefully, it's not the one that someone submitted and they're related to me.
Oh no no
I
no!
don't
It's
think I
not
could
that.
choose that. So
No, it's not that. It if it does touch too close to home, like political or for job related reasons,
yeah,
feel
no.
free to ignore it. We won't go there. But I think it might be funny. But if it's going to be too touchy, we'll just move on. So, FMK, fentanyl, Narcan, insulin. FMK, fentanyl.
Fentanyl, Narcan, insulin.
That was
Let's see.
and that was a family or friend submitted. It was not something I pulled out. It was
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it stuck out to me that it might lead to a funny story or two, or just
Oh,
you do you. But
yeah.
if you're uncomfortable, we can move on.
No, 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 no,
Okay,
no. That is
perfect.
a good one. I don't have experience. I know what Narcan does and everything. I've never gotten to use it on
Oh
someone.
wow.
Thank goodness.
I mean, I guess it is South Dakota, but damn, like I think it gets used every day, a
It
hundred
does.
times out
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So, when someone calls for an ambulance, police are on scene and they do carry Narcan,
Mm.
naloxone, and so they can give that. And that's kind of like a running joke that cops just do that for like any patient. So, maybe some people in the Discord that are
Yeah.
law enforcement officers, you guys love your Narcan for sure. So
So they're
hopefully
gonna.
someone talks about that. Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, no doubt that is a wonderful thing. So I am going to marry Narcan. That thing can bring people back from the dead for sure. Um, when used when you're supposed to, and it doesn't have a side effect. So it doesn't hurt if you do give it to someone that you suspect has an opioid overdose. So marry Narcan. Let's kill insulin. I know it is important for some people. We don't use it on the truck, and so I'm not gonna be messing with insulin. We can help people with that and everything, but we're not gonna be doing that. And then F fentanyl, because at times that can be a very very good thing to have. Pain management, especially on some of those big traumas and stuff like that. Fentanyl is the thing to F.
Nice. And oh, there we go. Sorry, I think it froze up there. Still frozen.
Did I play that game correctly?
Yes, well done. Well done. You get 5 stars. Five diamond stall horse stall mats.
I'd also marry fentanyl or not fentanyl, Narcan, Anthony. I have it in my bedside table.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I keep it because you can get it free. It's so
Yep,
easy to
yeah.
get, and I just keep. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
they
yeah.
do have it for you can pick it up at gas stations now, which is starting to roll out in some places. And down here, um that is a thing that's popping up in gas stations. So yeah, definitely a good thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple more questions. More just I'm gonna set you up, tell a story,
Yeah,
and then
sure.
we can move on to overrated or underrated. So a
Wait,
couple here.
what was that? Move on to what?
Ah, god dang it. Well, because I was looking at the wrong damn slide on the
Oh,
screen.
I just wanted to make sure I came prepared. I
No,
knew what I was doing here.
I'm in the wrong spot. All right. So
Wrong
yeah,
podcast.
I know, right?
Goodness.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know who does that basic generic shit. It's not us. Um,
We're original over here.
so one here, someone submitted. I'm assuming a loved family member that as a kid you had some quote unquote borderline anger issues, and they wonder if all the time in the gym has helped work that out. Because I've spent a good few hours with you, and you were nothing but even keeled, casual, couldn't get escalated. Antony was the one that I went to after the bathroom incident at the
Yes, the
bar,
infamous.
and he
Yeah.
was just like complete, just like didn't overreact, had like just the perfect like let's solve this kind of like I mean it's the EMT brain of just like not getting overwhelmed. So I
Mhm.
can't see you having anger. So do you feel that you did have anger as a kid and it's gone away? Because I would assume that's the case.
Yeah, I definitely did have. I don't know why or really what it really stemmed from. I I'm an argumentative person. I like I if if I'm convinced of something, I usually like to support what I believe and stuff like that. And so I'm pretty sure this is coming from my mom, just because we have lots of stories
That's
of
fair.
yeah, of me just being just a bratty kid when you're younger. Something doesn't go your way or you're told no or something like that. I could get pretty angry and stuff like that. And it was kind of funny because my mom had a video camera and was actually videotaping me to show me later of how angry and mean I could be. Yeah, terrible thing, but she did that, and I just remember yelling through a closed door, like I'm gonna break your video camera and stuff like that, and just doing really inappropriate things. But just being mean wise. I mean, no swearing or anything like that, or hitting or anything, but
Hmm.
just being an annoying little kid. So props to my mom and dad for disciplining me and you know instilling in me some better values. And I like to think that I'm not like that anymore,
Nice.
which is definitely a good thing. But
And I hear when Massonomics did the speaking at the Tech Summit that you were one of their featured questioners, and they you asked him about the you go ahead and just tell him how that went.
Yeah. So, do you guys remember that part of the podcast when they talked about that or that video coming out at all? Do you guys have
Yeah,
any
a good
memory
bit.
of
I
that?
remember watching the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that was one of, when Massonomics started to roll out these weekly videos.
Hmm.
That was one of the earlier ones that they did. And, I was going to Northern at the time and got an email, and the email said that Massonomics was going to be at the Tech Summit. And I'm like, what in the world? And so, I reached out to Tanner and, he confirmed it, whatever. And so, made sure that I was available for that and went to the auditorium, and they're having a panel of podcasters from Aberdeen uh, talking and answering questions and stuff like that. And you'll have to go back and listen to Tanner and Tommy, talk about it. They do a much better job of explaining the whole situation and how it was a little strange because obviously they have a long podcast and have a lot of experience. So any question that was fielded to the panel, Massonomics picked it up and kind of ran with it. And it was true. I mean, any question that came up, all the other people turn their heads to Tanner and Tommy, and so
Yeah.
they start to talk about their experience with whatever the question was. But um, yeah, so at some point there was a QR code that popped up on the big screen, and so you could scan that and put in any question. One of the other gym members from Massonomics was also there, and he asked a question to start it off. And then the moderator actually read my question, which I didn't think he would. But my question was for all of the other panelists, what is your reaction to Massonomics not being featured in Aberdeen magazine? And just the atmosphere in the entire place was just like, I mean, there was just an audible like gasp. Everyone was like, ooh. And it was, I felt terrible sitting there because I did not think that this guy would read it. But the moderator was just going down the line of questions, and so I submitted it early on, and it was like the second question that was read. And, Tanner and Tommy did a really good job of directing that in a way that did not cause any drama. But it was, really funny to be in the moment of. And thankfully, Tanner and Tommy did say, they told me afterwards that they thought it was hilarious too. So thankfully, I didn't make them mad or anything, but that was a really funny thing. Yeah.
I don't know what it would take to actually get Tanner mad. Like, it would take so much to get him like actually infuriated. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see it, but
Yeah.
he just doesn't seem like, and he even admits it. Like, with the old guy yelling at him a few years ago, and he's just like, what are you doing? Like, why are?
I think a good place that would maybe start to get him mad is if someone disobeyed one of his signs in the
Oh
gym
yeah. Well,
and
if someone bent
broke one of
some
those.
round heads, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
piss him off good.
I think that would get him going for sure.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't have to be a Mount Rushmore. So like, give me like what's your top two favorite passive aggressive Tanner signs that you've seen throughout the gym over the years,
Hmm.
or just even one that stood out the most that made you like nose snort.
Yeah. I do like the signs on those round heads, if you bent
Hmm.
one. One obviously one that they've talked about before. He has one on the stereo system. If you go above a certain volume, excuse yourself from the gym. You'll be kicked out if you go over this high volume, which is hilarious. I think that is one that has, now that they got the new stereo system a couple years back, he changed the sign, but that
Yeah.
sign was one of the oldest ones that was in there. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think he put a restrictor on it now. They can only like unless you like go in with a code, you can only go so high anyway.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that was very smart on him.
Yep.
Hogan, anything else standing out you want to ask before we move on to unpaid or underrated?
I had one. What's this about? Uh, being a C-bum pre-workout fan. I just got I didn't even know he had a pre-workout. Of course he does, but what's going on there? I need to know about this.
Yeah. So Sebum is one of the co-owners of Raw Nutrition. And Raw has been around for I don't know how many years, but they make the typical health supplements and stuff like that. You can buy anything from them. But when Sebum came on, Chris Bumstead, for people who aren't familiar, when he came on to the company, he got his own line of Favage pre-workout. It's the way that Chris talks. He's got a lisp. And so it's kind of funny that it's not Savage, it's Favage pre-workout. That stuff I've been rocking that for a while now. I like the ingredients that are in it. It tastes good. Not that that's like an important thing, but it goes down pretty easily. And I'll buy it when it's on sale because otherwise pre-workout is expensive.
Nice. All right. Well, I think we're probably good to roll into. Oh yeah,
you're not going into GNC. You're not making that pilgrimage anymore.
Oh no, I am not going into GNC anymore.
I don't remember the last time I've been in a GNC. It's been decades.
No.
The only time I even see supplements is if I'm in like one of the prepared food. There's a couple different prepared food places I go to if I just need like easy meal prep. Like I don't know, they're like anywhere from $8 to $11 a meal, but that's not that bad. I don't have to cook that day if I need a couple dinners.
Well, if you go to Walmart, they actually carry some raw products, as well as like, your stereotypical or your typical C4 and, those other ones that are just, they got beta alanine and your caffeine and stuff, but they actually have some other selections, and raw is in, I think, probably every Walmart that I've been in recently, and the one in my town. So that is kind of a nice thing. So if I ever get low, I can pick some up there.
I think the last Walmart I've been into was in Aberdeen. I'm not a big Walmart guy, but I'm also
really? Wow.
I'm also a big. So the Walmart's near me.
I hear if you go into the bathroom of the Walmart and ask for Jack 3D original formula, only in the bathrooms.
Well, it's in the back bathroom by the electronics. Yeah, it's in the back bathroom. It's not the nice ones at the front. It's those ones in the back.
No, not by the customer service. You gotta go in the back.
Yep.
You gotta know the code word. Code unpaid. You'll get it.
Oh gosh, yeah. There's definitely some kids in there licking the walls, probably. All right, so I think we're good to move into unpaid or underrated. Hogan, do you want to explain how we play that game and maybe hit them with the first handful? If not, I can roll into it.
Yeah, let me give it a go at it. So we have a very original game here at Unpaid, Underrated called Unpaid or Underrated. Basically, we're going to give you a handcrafted, curated list of topics just for Big Antony, and you're going to let us know if the item is unpaid or if it's underrated. Not to be confused with another knockoff game, Overpaid or overrated or underrated, which is unpaid or underrated.
I'm glad other people mess up.
Just the biggest piece here is no writing the line. You may always, of course, your druthers are completely allowed, but no line writing, one ass on one horse kind of thing. So that makes sense to you, Big Antony? Ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Keith, you want to kick us off?
Sure, yeah. I appreciate you giving me the little intro there. So Big Antony, unpaid or underrated border runner vlogs. And I didn't say that as a slur. That is something that is, you explain what that is. That is not me saying something mean.
That is hilarious. It's not mean at all. Border Runner Vlogs was the name of my YouTube channel. And it's actually the channel that I have now. I just, smartly changed the name, and I listed all of my vlogs as unlisted. So nobody can see those anymore except a select few. Border Runner Vlogs. Yeah, that's awesome. I have not heard that in a long time. I would say underrated. I had some decent videos, and like from a creative aspect, I do like making videos and working with camera stuff. I like using my drone to take some nice shots and everything. And just from the creative side, I think making videos is a really cool hobby, and it comes in useful, and it'll probably come in useful for this next competition for Massonomics.
Yeah, I was thinking like it's kind of, we can't really do it at the RAM. Oh, yeah, we should follow up. No one ever gave us an answer.
I will give you an answer for that.
Okay.
I did tell my sister earlier today. I was like, because she was checking out the Unpaid and Underrated podcast, and she was like, South Dakota. And I was like, as the title, and I was like, yeah, one of the hosts thought that the Ramkota was pronounced Ramkota. And, without hearing how it sounded, it's easy to say that. Yeah. But I think it was Joey that said that
Yeah,
he corrected, saying that it's South Dakota, Ramkota.
Nice.
Yep. So it's Western Ramkota, location of the Lift Hard Live Easy. So
Good deal. Oh, what I was getting at was a vlog in there, or sorry, a drone in there would have been pretty dope because I don't think there was. I think other than Tommy getting some like mezzanine shots with the videos and the pictures, I don't think there was any drone footage. That would
yeah.
have been
So
dope.
I thought that would be really cool at the Odie, because it's a little bit taller. It's
Yeah, that's what
it's
I
an
meant.
arena,
Yeah,
and so
yeah, sorry.
it would be really cool to do it there. And I did talk to Tommy about getting the drone, because it's got a nice camera for the group picture, with everyone in the crew in Tanner's backyard.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Because yeah, we could get everyone's face in it, and it would be pretty nice. So maybe I'll have to talk with him about that, and that way he can actually be in it too, because I don't think Tommy is in the picture unless he had someone else
I
take
think
it.
sometimes he is and sometimes he isn't. I think maybe year one he did hand the camera off, and then
Okay.
last year he didn't. But maybe it's a flip of that, and maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do enjoy it when both podcast hosts over there do get chance to get in the into the still photos because I don't know, those are pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So I think maybe I'll try and bust that out and get some footage maybe that they could put in their video and stuff too. Just different take on it.
All
So
right. So that was the long way of telling us that Border Runner vlogs underrated.
underrated.
All right. Number two here. Unpaid or underrated. Ooh, being slow rolled in poker
Being rolled in poker.
and what that actually is at first, because you had very few things under this category of things you may or you might not like. So you seem like a guy that likes most things. So I had to put
Yeah.
a whole lot of options
Yeah.
for
That's funny.
negative responses.
So if you're familiar with poker or really any other kind of like poker game, Texas Hold'em is the game that I like to play. And I'll usually play with my cousins and brother. Oopsies. Hang on one sec.
You're good.
Hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Slow rolling in poker is when you're playing against someone, and they are deliberately they know that they have the best hand. And when it comes time to showdown, when you show what cards you have, they are letting you show your hand first when they know that it is not the winning hand. And after I were to show my hand, the opponent would then flip over their cards, which beats mine, and it beats mine without a doubt. That would be considered a slow roll. And so it's bad etiquette to do, because if you're the winner, you should show your cards and let the other person turn their cards in without, having them show what they have or what they were playing. So slow rolling, definitely don't do it in a tournament. That will get you not kicked out, but that will get you some really bad looks, and people might not be happy with you with that. But when you're playing like a friendly game, it can kind of spark some competitiveness and kind of get some laughter and everything. So, unpaid or underrated slow rolling, definitely unpaid.
It's fair. I guess either like because like if you don't know that you'd have to know like what hand beats what, and then there's like a 99% chance that you have the like. I mean, I guess since it is Hold'em, there's a lot of cards on. I mean, it's like is it that obvious? Like how I don't know. Like I can see situations
right
where
when
maybe I win, maybe I didn't. I don't.
Right when you're a beginner, you don't know that you're slow rolling. This is when you have some understanding of the game. Say if you're playing a tournament or a cash game or something like that. More specifically in cash games, when you're like playing with friends and stuff, or even like at like a higher level, it's people that know what the game is, and they, like I said, deliberately know, or they know for sure that they have the winning hand. So beginners can unintentionally slow roll. That's not a bad thing. That happens all the time. They don't know if their hand is best or not. So
makes sense. All right. Well, my last one before I hand the baton over to my trusty sidekick co-host Hogan here. Let's go unpaid or underrated bananas.
Bananas were the first food that I was ever given. And I immediately started gagging and spitting it out. My mom was freaking out, like saying, "What did I just do to this kid?" To this day, I've never swallowed a banana before. Oh, wow. No jokes there. Okay?
Episode title.
Yep. I don't enjoy banana flavored things. I don't eat bananas. I do like banana bread with chocolate chips. If you were to take out the banana, then that bread is very good without the banana in it. But yeah, so bananas for me are definitely unpaid. I just don't eat them. Well, yeah, I would have to say unpaid, but they do have some health benefits, but we'll just keep it simple. We'll go unpaid.
So like no banana bread, no like inadvertently like eating some homemade food and realize like this muffin has a banana in it or something and
Yeah, so I'll eat banana bread if there's no banana in it and it's got chocolate chips. Then the banana bread is good. So it's just bread with chocolate. So
gotcha. So it's more of a texture thing. What about banana? What about like a dehydrated banana crisp thing? Because those are pretty damn good. And I wouldn't even say that's like banana adjacent. That's I mean
right, banana adjacent,
it's like
a
it's a
proper way
banana
to
chip.
explain that. Yeah. No, I won't.
Nope.
If
Nope.
I would eat it if I had literally nothing else.
Gotcha.
But I would choose something else.
Heard. All right. Well, you did get on my section. We'll see how your answers stack up to Big Hogan's zingers. What do you got for him, buddy?
let me get out of here. So, Big Anthony, unpaid or underrated chess.
I'm not very good at chess, but I do enjoy playing it, and I like trying to learn, a little bit more about it. Just, kind of like another one of my hobbies that I'll like get into for a little bit and just try and slowly get better at it over time. Um, I've been playing it for all of my life, but I get in different phases where I start to like it or not. And I recently have been playing it a lot more. I would say that it's underrated. It's a fun game to learn. There's quite a few different rules and a lot of different strategy with it. But once you start like trying to be competitive with that, that's where it's starts to get not so fun. But it's just like a casual game between some friends and stuff. I would say that chess is underrated.
Do you do any like online rank play? I think, like in my experience, that's kind of where I'm ever able to play.
Yeah, I
Kind of hard to convince people to play.
yeah, it is. It is. I do have a lot of like chess sets that I also like to collect too. Those are just kind of fun things, and I think they're kind of cool to display if you have space for it. But yeah, I'll use like chess.com and play against other people online. Or my girlfriend also plays chess, and so sometimes we'll bust out the chess set and play a couple games. But
I do
Do
have
you
to
have like
hit.
a
Nope,
theme
sorry.
set that's your
No, you're good.
go ahead.
yeah, to
Do you have
answer
a
to
theme
answer
set
Hogan,
that's your favorite or anything like that?
yeah. So you're asking if I have a theme set. Um, I have a set from my physics professor. It's carved out of marble, and he got it as a gift when he went to Mexico. One of the last weeks of class or whatever, for some reason in physics class, we get started talking about chess or whatever, and so he told me he had a cool set. He brings it in, and we play a couple games, and he asked if I wanted it. And I was like, absolutely. And so the pieces don't look that great. They're kind of hard to distinguish. But as just like a cool kind of piece to have, and also the memories, that's probably my favorite set.
It's the chessboards you
Very
collected
good,
along
very
the way,
good.
right?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we get a Massonomics chess set? Is that what's
That would be interesting.
I feel like at least 5 or 6 guests have talked about playing chess in the past.
Yeah, if anyone wants to try to play some chess against me, for sure, hit me up.
And there's like mad virtual. There's got to be it's super easy to do like virtual chess games too, and like I'm sure there's an app for that you can just like
Well,
friend
yeah,
people and
yeah. If you just go to chess.com,
there you go.
yeah.
you can. It's an app on your phone. It's on the computer. Yeah. There's countless amounts of chess websites that you can play on.
Hogan, can
We'll
I
have
hijack
chess and chess day. We'll hit go for
Oh,
it.
that is good.
Nice.
That's good.
Chess day. I'm going to hijack real quick. So, speaking of chess players, so Big Chris Mark, avid chess player, big fan. So reach out to him if you ever want to play some online chess.
Sweet.
So he was the winner of the, this is a couple months ago. I feel like now the Massonomics Fantasy Football League, and everyone's been anxiously waiting for his present or his award to show up, and it finally did today. I know there were some issues. I think Tanner initially tried to get one, and that fell through, but the guy didn't get back to him for whatever. There was like a long delay for him to find out that it wasn't going to work out. So then he was like way behind the 8 ball when he actually like got the next one delivered. So Chris just sent me a picture of it. It is a pretty badass looking So it's got to be a dagger because I'm going off the scale. There's like a post-it note, and it's like basically 3 or 4 post-it notes long. So it's called a dagger with a sheath. Pretty cool looking, knife with the lettering says 2024 Massonomics Intern League of Fantasy Football Best Overall Lifter. So congratulations, Big Chris, finally getting his a sword for winning the fantasy football league.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dang.
So sorry, I
That
just
would
had
be
to.
that'd be a pretty cool thing to win. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry about how that turned out, Keith.
No, fuck. Yeah, dude, you just twisted that dagger into me.
No. So,
It was literally I was gonna have so much like.
And that was a contest, right?
It was a
That was
contest,
technically a
oh.
and I
contest.
needed it. I needed it.
Yeah.
I
Oh
literally,
man, even worse, right?
I literally lost by like. I think it was even a fairly. I don't know. I was down by like 15. It was a very poor performance for my team that week, but I think that the score that I had would have was like my third highest scoring points of the season too, which was
Wow.
wild to then like get edged out. So
Yeah. Well, it was crazy to see Tanner's fall because he was leading the league, wasn't he?
oh
I mean,
yes,
just
he
that's
was.
crazy.
He only lost 2 games all season, and then we had a bye week, and then I think he won the first round, or he even lost. He might have even lost. I'd have to look. I think he went 0-1 in the playoffs after a bye. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he did because it was a small playoff season. Sorry. One more follow up before we let Hogan get back to his questions. So, were you a Aberdeen Golden? Was it Golden Eagle, Central Eagle? What was the
Nope,
what?
I went to Roncalli. It was
Okay.
it's another school in Aberdeen.
Oh, so that would have worked out better if it was not. But that's so Aberdeen actually has multiple high schools. I guess it's big enough I could see that. But
Yeah, they have I think 3 high schools and then like a really small one for like some kind of church affiliated thing.
mhm,
But yeah, three main high schools. Yep.
good stuff. All right, Hogan, proceed, my friend. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, good. No, that was very important. All right.
I thought it was.
Next here, unpaid or underrated. I agree. I'm not being sarcastic.
Okay, cool beans, cool beans. The delay is throwing us off a
We
little
can't have two sarcastic people on here.
bit.
Okay. Unpaid or underrated magic.
Ooh, Magic. Uh, I would say that Magic is underrated. I think it's really cool to see the reaction of people, and it brings some kind of happiness to them. Um, I don't like magicians that are kind of sketchy or they post like content online and stuff that's like staged and stuff like that.
Mm,
That's not really magic. That's not it's all just content and stuff like that. It's a different type of entertainment. But actual magic tricks, close up magic tricks, card tricks, sleight of hand, all of that stuff. Um, Good way to kind of loosen up a group of people and stuff like that. And it's always fun to kind of tease people because I like to do the same tricks over and over again in front of the same people, which typically you're not supposed to do, because they might figure out the trick or it kind of loses its awe. But I like to do it in front of them multiple times, and it just makes people pretty happy. So I would say it's underrated.
Do you have a favorite magician?
Oh, no, I don't. I no, I haven't really seen that many in person. But there's like some YouTubers, where I learned a lot of my stuff from, and so I would probably have to say it's a collection of people that I've never met, but adjacent and have seen stuff of theirs online. So
Yeah, I'm a huge Penn and Teller fan. Kind of your whole thing on explaining the trick, and that's kind of their whole shtick has
yeah,
been the rules of magic, or
yep, Penn
their
and
show
Teller.
at Fool Us. Oh my gosh, great show.
Yeah,
Love it.
yep. Fool Us is a really good one to watch, and I do like how they talk about it and they talk in code. So if you kind of have some magic background, you can kind of decipher, what they're saying and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Definitely a good show, and they're pretty talented magicians.
So with that kind of spinning off to get more specific in magic, and what most people might be familiar with, unpaid, underrated card tricks.
Yeah, I'd have to put that pretty closely with Magic. I'll say that those are underrated. Um, Tons of different varieties that you can do and different skill levels and stuff like that. Um, you you could have like some good experience in magic tricks and in card tricks specifically, and still have absolutely no idea how some people do some other level of card tricks. I mean, just the ceiling, the skill ceiling is just crazy with those. And so I would say that those are underrated.
Cool. Well,
All right. Well, I think that's what we have for you. What'd you say, Big Keith?
yeah,
Did he pass?
yeah, I'm not big math, but that sounded like 6 to me, so we're good. Yeah, no, everything's good. I'm happy.
Sweet.
We doing good. We can, let's see, sorry. Let me scroll that down. So yeah, let us move on to I'm off tomorrow, so I'm in no time rush. I know you guys got if I don't want to keep anyone up later, but we gotta we're just hitting the ground floor running here. So let's hand it over to Big Antony and see if he has anything prepared for Keith and Joey and if he can audible and make it Keith and Hogan or not.
I think I could audible this and make it Keith and Hogan. Hogan did actually kind of help me with this little segment that I want to do. So I want to throw some unpaid and underrated at you guys, if that's
absolutely
okay with you guys. And they're going to be Arnold focused, so we'll keep it like that. So
we didn't even talk about okay, so yeah.
No, I know. Yeah, we haven't even talked about the Arnold. Crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
So let's I'll just do a couple of them. So let's go unpaid or underrated. Hubert's Polish Kitchen.
I've yet to consume it. Have you actually had it yet, Hogan, living right next to it?
Yep. I have opinions.
Oh, I will say it has to be overrated. Or no, we're playing unpaid, so it's got to be unpaid because I've never had it yet. But I don't know. Maybe we'll get it this week or in a couple weeks. I can't say something's good if I haven't had it yet. I am not a optimist. I am the opposite of that, which is evading pessimist.
Great.
Pessimist.
So Hogan's riding the line, and Keith has no opinion.
No, I'm saying it's overrated.
Oh, okay, overrated.
It has to be
unpaid.
Yeah, I think I'm unpaid on this. Either in that market to eat, it's mid on my list of what I'll pick. So for that, I'm just not a fan.
Yeah,
unpaid.
Noted for sure. Next one, unpaid or underrated, taking over the Massonomics booth.
I never had a chance to do that really because the one year I was there, I was in crew obviously, but it was pre-podcast and I just I don't know, I was so overwhelmed with being at the expo that I just hung out with them a little bit there, but I personally didn't get to do it. It probably would be fun, but it's also work on vacation and that doesn't sound fun, but I still want to help them out. I will help them out this year if they need it. So taking it over, I look at it as the more just like being ever consuming there. I like that a lot. So I would say underrated specifically for just the crew environment.
And I would agree. Underrated. I mean, my first time going to the Arnold was last year, and the first time checking out the booths the last year, and I'm excited. I think the location that they're going to have this year is going to be great. Up at the front by the strongman section, it was right by where the Lift Heavy Be Kind one was last year, and I think that's a great location. So I think it's going to be a really good hangout spot, even with it being down to the one booth. I think it's going to be more popping and vibing than ever.
Sweet. Yeah, I am really, really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And even though it's, shortened down to one booth and everything, it's just going to be surreal to see the amount of people there and just the love that Massonomics will get. So we'll do one last one.
No, shoot, whatever you got, man. If you put the time into preparing them, I'm not gonna cut you short.
No, you're good. So overrated, underrated, hanging out with other crew at the Arnold.
No, for sure. That's underrated. That's the best part. So it's like you meeting them so many new ones too. So like I always say anyone listening's already probably met them, but like just wear your Massonomics shit. I mean, you don't have to, but like I think I wore my NWC stuff, but that's just kind of like that's more people would know me from that than crew when I was there the first year. But this year I'll probably, I don't know, maybe wear NWC one day and crew shit the next. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's the only reason I'm going. I'm not going because like the Arnold sucks in general. Like I don't want to go to the Arnold. If they weren't there, I would not go. Like I always tell people, go once. I went once. I don't want to go again, but I want to go see my friends, so that's the only reason I'm going. But to me, the Arnold, like, if I could just like teleport and like watch Strongman for a couple hours and then go back home to my couch, like, cool, that would be fun. But I can already do that. I could stay home. I would have a more fun experience if it wasn't crew related, just watching the Arnold Strongman show at my couch, like we've done like 8 of the last 10 years or something with my wife. So uh, the Arnold overall, but hanging with the crew, like that is the Arnold to me. Like if it wasn't for that, I there is no Arnold. Like that is the expo for me. So 100% underrated.
I would also say underrated, especially as a Columbus native who has invited three other crew to stay in my home. I mean, we're gonna be a five crew house. Like that's a poppin' crew house. And explaining to Nicole who all is going to be there in our home. That's been fun. And who's sleeping where. So that's kind of a good segue to talk about that, at least for a second, on
Yeah.
all of us getting to room together for a weekend. So definitely spend time with the people. It's just a great experience. And it's just like you have that one piece in common and you have something to talk about immediately. And that's kind of the anxious thing of all of us, adults getting together with not really kind of knowing what to say when you meet each other for the first time, but it's so easy to just talk about anything Massonomics. It's just you just down to the merch even. It's such an open and welcoming environment. I've never met a crew that I'm like, ooh, I want to avoid that person, not talk to them. I always have a good time talking with the crew, so definitely underrated for sure. I wish we'd have more come. I think it'd be such a great experience with as many as we can get any meetup we have.
I dig it. And then that's kind of why that's I literally say it every other episode. It's like anyone going to mass, anyone listening to this that hasn't gone out of their way to listen to a handful of episodes and people they know they're going to see there, like I don't know, I highly recommend that because I get like some people are like, oh, I just want to have a natural conversation. I was like, yeah, but if you're anxious and you don't know what to say, like fucking just invest a couple hours of your life and learn a whole bunch about this fella or lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does it for the unpaid and underrated. Going back to that part in the ad read, I did mention, that they're coming out with, some new stuff. Do you guys think that you guys are going to be grabbing some of those, all of those? You have more interest in shirts, the new mesh shorts? What are you guys thinking or looking forward to picking up there?
Honestly, unless it's like I'm probably just gonna like peruse and then go put an order on at home because I'm not having the ability to just walk to a hotel room and like unload my merch. Like anything I buy, I'm gonna or I'll have to buy it like at 6:30, right when I'm walking out the door. Like maybe I will do that, but I don't want to buy a shirt at 9 o'clock in the morning and then carry said shirt in my hand or in a backpack or like whatever. Or be like, hey, can I leave a backpack underneath your booth? Especially now that there's like going to be like twice as many crew and half the booth. It's like I don't want to do that. Like watch me end up doing that. But like I don't want to go into it with that being my intention. And I don't really like. I'm sure the back wearing a backpack is the move, but I don't want to have a backpack on for fucking 8 hours, 12 hours. Like that sounds horrible. Well, also like my backpack sucks. So like I don't. Maybe if I had a better backpack that was lighter weight but I don't know. I do want to buy stuff, but I don't know that I'm necessarily going to buy it in person.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that's probably Arnold exclusive. I'm all about like I get that FOMO, right? Of all the merch that in the past that I wish I got that I didn't get. So I typically jump on anything that's an exclusive. So I'll definitely look at that on there.
That's kind of a
And
segue
kind of
into.
you're in Keith on Keith, you're in carrying a backpack. I've signed myself up for my favorite and also worst tradition of having that weight plate I
Oh
get people to
Jesus, you're bringing
sign.
that again.
I have to carry 8 pounds around.
Unless you're not going
I
through.
do it. I do it. I just got to do
No,
it.
I
Well, this one's not going to get
yeah,
thrown away
I
in
know, right? I was
customs.
just gonna bring
So
that up. Now, and if they
yeah,
tell you you can't bring it in, I'm assuming you're just gonna like just drive home at that point or get an Uber
they
back
don't
home.
check any. They don't.
Yeah.
Well, I get them from the garage sale. They cost $8 a
Well,
pop.
oh, so
I'll just
you're bringing an unsigned one here. I didn't know if you like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bring like the same one that already has a bunch of signatures on just to fill it up, or you just have them like this was from 23, this is 24, et cetera, et cetera. Need to come out. Have you been out east very much?
You talking to me, Keith? Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And for travel, like, have you come out east very often, or like I guess the Midwest, as some might call Ohio?
uh I went to Washington D.C. for like a trip in school. I've been to Florida, if you count that on the east side, I mean south, but I don't know what, you count that. But yeah, to Ohio, I've never been there before.
Okay.
Yeah, I really have not traveled that much. But hopefully get to do some of that. And I'm really looking forward to getting out there and kind of having a fun little getaway for a little bit. That's super exciting.
Yeah, anyone listening? So it was going to be Anthony, Joey, and I staying at Hogan's. I'm not sure if we're going to get a third or not. I'm sure Hogan's going to open it up to anyone that wants to stay there. You think he has an extra air mattress possibly, or a couch. But I think we're both getting in Sunday night, or sorry, Thursday night, and leaving Sunday morning. I'm still like I got to work till like 2. Oh, I'm on. I was requested to be out at 2, but if my job is wrapped up early enough, I can leave earlier. But I don't. It's like 2 weeks out. I won't know. So if I have to leave right at 2 sharp, like the earliest I could get there is like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I feel bad about showing up at Hogan's house that late. But hopefully
Hmm.
your flight is as late, and I won't be like the one waking the house up saying, "Hey, can I come in?" But if I'm gonna be past that, I'll honestly just get an Airbnb like an hour out and just go to bed, and then just show up at like 8 the next morning. But I'm still, I don't know, doing a 7-hour drive in March, well, into February. If it's like horrible weather, it might take me 10 hours to get there. I don't know.
Right. I was debating about driving, because I am
Yeah.
further south than like where Tanner's coming from. He's got a little bit of a longer drive before he meets up with Tommy. But again, they have a really long drive, and the drive could be done. I know it's not like a super fun drive, but
It's like 20 hours
yeah, that's a
or
long
more.
drive. And so, I've been looking at plane tickets and everything, and I got them at a decent price. And that just so happens the Arnold weekend is one of the I have like built-in breaks with my EMT schedule and
Oh,
stuff like
nice.
that. So I have a nice 5-day break off of work. And so lined up perfectly, and I was like, oh, it's meant to be. So I book that and I'll fly. It'll save me time, probably headache and stuff like that. And again, you never know like what the weather is going to be. So
Were you weren't in the crew Airbnb, were you? Or you
I was
were in the
not.
crew? Okay, you were not. Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. Oh
No,
no,
I have
because
a
you had a family member that lived there or
Yep,
something,
yep.
right?
I got my brother who lives
That's right. That's right. Oh
in
yeah,
Baltimore.
you didn't you got I should have unpaid or underrated getting up at 3 in the morning to take Sea Poppy to the freaking airport.
Yep, yeah. He was talking about that, the night before and stuff on, how he was gonna get there and he
I
was
was
gonna
like,
like
dude,
stay and
yeah, he thought it was going to be open at like
yeah,
all night long, and I'm like, dude, I've been to that airport. Like, they're for sure going to close at 10 o'clock and not open up and again until like 5 or 6.
yeah. And that would have been a fun thing to talk to Kurt with about his how his night progressed and everything with that. I don't because he and Matthias were on the same
Oh,
time
okay,
and
okay.
everything, and you know how Kurt was at the end of
Oh, yeah.
Lucky's and everything.
Kurt
So
Kurt was happy.
Matthias I don't even think had a drink, but
No
it
water.
was just late. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of used to it with my work schedule anyways. Waking up for an hour is in the middle of the night is not going to wreck me. And so I was really happy to do that. And he was really appreciative. And yeah, don't mind doing that.
Um, what time do you think you're getting in Thursday?
Thursday, my flight gets in at 11:15.
Oh,
So
damn. Okay, so me showing up at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock won't be too bad then.
nope, I will be the latest. And I ran
Hogan,
that by Hogan. And so, hopefully he's still cool with that, Hogan.
cool beans. I don't know how much. I know you had disappeared off
We can
screen for a
do
minute,
whatever.
Hogan.
Or yeah,
I wasn't
okay.
sure if you.
Yeah. It's a give you the code. You'll come on in as you want. It's pretty simple. So you'll
Wait,
do whatever you need.
for the listeners, you want to do that code one more time? Obviously, I'm joking there.
Yeah, everybody can just come into my home. Well, the beauty is it's one-time code that I give to you all that actually isn't the normal code. So
Oh, that's
Oh, sweet.
it's nice to
lock
have
y'all
those.
out.
Yeah.
It's nice to have those good apps to
Yeah.
for that stuff.
Smart home. I can just be. It works for like delivery people and everything. It's great.
Wow.
So are the sleeping arrangements, Hogan, going to be a little bit better than the Crew Falls Airbnb?
As long as you got your pillows sorted, we've
Oh yes,
been
yes.
joking
Oh,
about that, but or
okay.
your pillows.
Pillow. Yeah.
I had a very
The golden.
oh, and you got to bring your own PP. Of course, we're not sharing PP. Antony held up his challenge win of the bronze Juji Mufu Grip Genie PP. Um, which you and who did you tie breaker with? Who was that?
Matthias. Yep.
Matthias. Yeah. And I felt I I felt so confident. I don't know. I felt like I had a hang of the life at the beginning, and then it quickly got dwindled away. So
No, you had a really good hang, and if I could talk about that podcast or that competition, just the hanging aspect of it, I was hanging on, and I was like asking, I think it was Ryan who was doing the time. I was asking him for the time, and I just wanted to know the time that I had to beat and everything. And you can watch it back in the video, but I adjust my grip because I was starting to get cocky and I was going to do some pull-ups. Um, because I was feeling great. I mean, I had no pain. I could hang for a good long while, more than that. I adjust my grip and I instantly fall. And I was like really bummed on that because I had a good, I mean, at least 10 seconds. I felt I know I could go a little bit more than that, but yeah, that's what I get for being cocky. And then when Matthias tied, I was like just like, oh no, why did I try to go for that? And thankfully the dynamometer went in my favor, but did we lose Keith on this one?
there you go. That's how you win that challenge. Yeah, I see Keith dropped off.
He might be having some trouble with his internet connection then.
Yeah, we can give him another minute here. Actually, here I'll text him real quick. But yeah, no, I'm excited to have all the crew over to the house and to be able to do that. We'll definitely have probably a recap episode as Keith loves to be able to do to recount that shenanigan. So that'll be good.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. To hear that, and
good to join us, Keith.
Yeah,
we're just talking about the beauty of a recap episode.
Oh, I do love the recap. My laptop is again frozen, and it's the perfect picture of Antony holding up the golden PP. Just the most phallic, the way his fingers caressing the tip. So I will be sure to post a picture of that at some point privately. It's pretty amusing. So
yep, that's don't great.
Know. Well, actually, I might be able to if I can sell it. And I can get enough money to buy a computer that actually fucking works, and I can then record a podcast on without 17 issues. So, yeah.
Well, I think you guys have been doing really good with all of the technical difficulties and lack of other guests that have curveball this episode. But
we're good. Did we miss anything, boys? When we start bringing this in for a landing? Anything else either of you wanted to?
When the 10,000 feet will start coming on down.
Yeah. So. Obviously, we have some affiliate links we'd like to go use for your benefit and a little bit of ours. Obsidian Ammonia, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Belt Fed Strength, Freedom Fitness Equipment, and apparel from the Strength Co. Code Unpaid will save you a little bit of money at all those places and possibly give us a little kickback, but just a handful of them are just for your benefit, and, we're just spreading the good word to you. Big Hogan, where are they going to find you at, buddy?
You can find me on Instagram at World's Strongest Psychologist.
And Anthony, where are they going to find you at one more time?
You can find me at Instagram at Anthony.Martinez14. Go like my basketball post.
We should. I actually hope you get like 20 new likes on that in the next couple of weeks. That would make me, nothing would make me happier than that. Other than obviously going over to Instagram and following Unpaid and Underrated Podcast. Go to our website, Unpaid Intern Podcast. We got a YouTube. Go race for first comment. And I'm Keith Honeycutt. You can follow me on Instagram, Keith Honeycutt73. More importantly, go follow my orange gem, the No Wine Cellar, and we will see you next Tuesday.